1. Now, we had a topic for today. Not saying we can't discuss a little bit of just things we've seen, things we've heard about Terrifier 3, but our full topic was supposed to be the entire Terrifier 3 story
Mm-hmm.
and whatever's there. Obviously, gore,
Rundown, huh?
pretty much the entire runtime of the movie. But instead, we weren't able to finish it. Actually, matter of fact, I actually saw it today. It's available today digitally to watch at home.
Where?
Uh, so you can get it on Amazon, but you gotta rent it. You can't. It's not like it's usually ready
Yeah,
available. But Amazon,
it's
Apple
not on Prime,
TV,
is what you mean.
yeah, things like that. So it's you can rent it today, and so I'm actually planning on
Uh,
probably renting it tomorrow. My sister's coming over, and
okay, that's nice.
she's a pretty big horror fan, so we might check it out then and see what it's about. But unfortunately, wasn't able to watch it today. With I have a for you guys that don't know, I have a almost 4 month old baby at home, so going to the movies, things like that, is kind of out the question right now unless we get somebody to watch her. And I just don't quite feel that way. Feel good about leaving her
Yeah.
with anybody yet. So, but we'll get there. But anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for checking out another episode. We really appreciate it, and let us know where you found the Deadhead podcast, whether it was any of our socials. And if you don't know already, go follow us on every social media platform. We have our link tree and each respective social media platform as well. And yeah, with that being said, there's all the pleasantries. John, how's it going, man? Tell the people what you've been up to.
So it's been doing. I've been going pretty well. I've been doing pretty well, thank you. I've been mostly doing kind of the same old stuff. I have started posting more on my private social media accounts. That's not too much news to you, but I started to like the idea of having a sort of my own digital diary or some sort of a journal, right? So I don't know, when I go to the cinema, I take a picture of the poster and people I've been there with. I'm also planning to do something like I'm gonna finish reading something, when I finish playing a video game, I take a snapshot out of the cover of the main menu if it's a video game, and maybe even like say put on a few thoughts on under the picture. I know this sounds like super basic, but in my 24 years of being on this earth, I never once thought of using social media as a normal person. And now I sort of am, which is pretty exciting for me. Might not be as exciting for you guys, but it's super exciting for me.
Mhm.
What about you? What have you been up to?
Been doing good. Speak. Just go back on the whole social media thing. Yeah, it's. I
Uh
mean, I
huh.
mean, we kind of had a light conversation about this before we went live. It is kind of like some people are just it just comes natural when just they experience things, even if it's like the most basic of things, like oh, I just went to a restaurant. Look at this food I'm eating and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been one of those people either. I wouldn't say I'm like super private, but at the same time, it's just when I have experiences, I don't always photograph them like I should, and it's something I'm
Mm.
trying to like get in a better habit of. Mostly because, and it sounds so foolish, but I'm so self conscious. I hate the way I look at pictures. I can't stand it. So like matter of fact, my mother in law, she's a huge picture taker, and like during the holidays, she's it sucks, man. I just I hate having my picture taken. Even if I feel like I look good, I take a look at the pictures later, and I'm like, oh my god, who the hell is that guy? So I don't document nearly as much as I should, but I try to capture the most important moments. Like let's with my daughter, I take a lot of pictures with her,
Mm.
so things like that. But um, really, as far as what I've been doing, man, honestly, one of the things I was going to bring to the show today was I was going to give like a mini review of the PlayStation 5 Pro. I don't really make
Oh, right.
as many videos as I used to, mostly because I just don't have the time to edit and film and all that. Mostly edit. Like I could probably film videos, but then edit them. It's like, oh my god, I can't do that too. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort, and I just don't have it in me right now. But um, I've been dabbling with the PS5 Pro a little bit. I've had it since Thursday, and I've been kind of actually this is my old PS5 right here. I took the purple Death Stranding plates off. I put the white ones back on because I just kind of like that look a little bit better. And I actually have it right here now, but it's probably gonna be moved soon because I actually got somebody who's interested in it right now, and I was kind of on the fence about selling it,
Oh,
but
your base PS5?
yeah, yeah. Someone's interested
Oh
in,
man.
in getting it from me, and I was gonna throw in like a controller and a few other things, but I'm still on the fence about it. But at the same time, with how money's been and things like that. I mean, I should probably if I'm not gonna use it, it's gonna sit there and collect dust. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd respect either choice. I don't know if I could, even if I got like a Pro or a Slim. I don't think I could, rid myself of my first love there when it comes to
Yeah,
PS5s. But I would completely understand. I mean, it's like no small amount of change
yeah,
if you
yeah.
do manage to sell it. So I
Yeah,
get it.
I had thought about keeping it. Just the only thing is, I mean, I probably would just put it. Honestly, I wouldn't even leave it out like it is now. I probably would put it in back in the original box. I got the box up in my
Mm,
closet. Um, so that's probably what I would end up doing. But I have a guy that I work with who's been looking for one. He was going to buy one brand new, and then when he found out I was getting the Pro, he was like, "Oh well, I could just buy yours, right?" And I was like, I mean, I don't see any reason. And I was like, kind of thinking of like how I can sweeten the pot because you can get a brand new PS5, not the Pro, for $400 if you wanted to. So I was trying to think of like, all right, well, what would be the difference of like if he went out and bought a brand new one as opposed to buying mine? And it's like, okay, well, I'll throw in a controller. I'll throw in. I'm throwing in like a 1 terabyte hard drive with it as
oh
well.
man,
So
well, that's the deal I take. Like with the original box.
yeah,
I mean, that's a no-brainer. Like if I
yeah.
were that guy.
Yeah. And I'm selling it because I've known this guy for almost 10 years now. So like I'm
Mm,
kind of probably letting it go for a little cheaper than I probably should, but at the same time it's whatever. It's all right. You know what I mean? I know the
yeah,
guy, so
yeah. I also kind of. I mean, at least I don't like getting into all that economic side of it because, yeah, sure, you could get more money out of it, but how? You would have to like put on. You have to advertise it right on various sites, and that can cost money. So maybe you end up losing some to get some, and costs a lot of time, a lot of effort.
yeah.
So
And
I mean,
what I find here lately, I don't know how Facebook Marketplace is for you over there, but it's excuse me, it's a war zone over here,
yeah.
and it's like you have so many meth heads and
Oh
druggies
my God.
trying to like, and like I know it sounds bad, but dude, it's like people trying to jip you, like, bro, like I take care of my shit. Like this PS5 right here, this was one of the, like, I think so I didn't get the PS5 as soon as it came out. I think it was like 6 months after it first
Mm.
came, after the
But it
first
looks
launch.
like a base model.
Yeah, yeah, it
Is
is.
it how you can tell like the well, like base model because they did a little bit of changing to the base model as well. So the what do you call it, the stand?
Hmm.
Like it does it have like a little screw in, or is it like not a screw or something that looks a bit more stylized?
It's
That's how you
it,
can tell whether it's a first generation or not.
it's the screw. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I know that's one thing with my PS5 Pro. Now it doesn't have it had actually with mine. It actually came with a stand, like where if you want to stand it vertically, but I don't have a place on my TV stand to do it. But so I got to lay it horizontal like this one, and instead of
Hmm.
the round stand with the screw, it has these like cheap little prong looking things that you stick in the middle of it. I'm not
And
really a
if you
big
want the
fan of that.
actual stand, you gotta cash out like what, 30?
Yeah, it's like $30. Yeah, yeah, which is a shame, and because like I'm one of those noobs where like you have to buy a disk drive separately as
Mm.
well, and I did end up doing that. I know I'm a freaking sellout, but
No, no, no. If I were you, I'd do that too. It's just, I think it's ridiculous that we have to do it in the first place, given
mhm.
how much money console costs. But we're just repeating things everybody has said.
Exactly. And I think that's the big criticism, right? Like, yeah, I mean, like for the base, $700, and it doesn't have a disk drive. Like, yeah, that's a
No,
little
just right,
irritating.
no stand,
No
unless you
stand.
count the thing described as a stand, which I don't. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty cheap, honestly, and it's honestly like the way my PS5 is currently sitting, like when you have the base like this one with my stand, like the PS5 is kind of levitated up off the ground a little, off
hmm
the,
hmm
not the ground, but whatever you have it sitting on, it's kind of
yeah.
levitated up off with these little cheap ass plastic feet. The disk drive is sitting still. It's sitting on whatever.
I
Yeah.
know. So like when it reads a disc, I bet like it makes the whole thing shake.
It's no, not really. I mean, it's. I mean, it's pretty damn quiet still, but but
Hmm.
you can tell, like, it's kind of like, oh, what? Okay, let these little suckers have their disk drive. Who gives a shit? We don't have to make it look that good, so we just. So
It's not part of the packaging, yes. It doesn't.
I'll have to send you a picture. It doesn't look bad, but it is kind of like it's not up higher than like the original one where
Hmm.
it's like up off the TV stand. It's now kind of like one part of the PS5 is up and the other one. It's not like sideways or anything. It's completely straight. but just that one side is sitting on the TV stand itself. And I thought that was a little strange. And I'm like, am I doing something wrong? And then I was looking it up online. And I was like, oh, so that's just a common thing. Okay, whatever.
Damn.
But I think what the problem is that a lot of people, they stand their PS5s up vertically, so they don't really have that issue. Me, I don't really have a spot to do that, so I kind of, I have to deal with it. But it doesn't look bad. But anyway, I know I kind of went on a whole different tangent, but yeah. So I've had it since Thursday, and I haven't had like a prolonged period of time to play it. But I've actually tried out several games. I've tried out several games and just kind of tested. There is still a couple games that I wasn't able to try, and I'm a little disappointed. But it's mostly because of money. I didn't already have them, so like haven't bought them yet. But there's a huge PlayStation sale right now, and so there is a couple that I'm hoping with payday coming up and being able to pay some bills, maybe I can at least scoop up another one. But yeah. So anyway, I mean, we can start with that if you want.
Sure thing. Yeah. And you're the guy getting the experiments, so I guess
Yeah.
you should start.
Yeah. Yeah, we can start with that first, and then we can kind of go on to other stuff. So PS5 Pro, is it worth it? Okay, so because of certain circumstances, Jan, don't you open your mouth. It is worth it in some circumstances. You know what I mean, right?
I know what you mean.
But in other ways, I don't know, man. It's tough because
Let's say the product by itself, right? Is
okay.
worth just for that.
So yeah, so if you do not have a PS5 before the Pro, get the Pro. But if you already have a PS5, right now I just don't know how. It just depends on if you like new. Like for me, I love new hardware, so more than likely, I would try to find a way to get this. If that means trading in my old PS5, getting $350 off the price of a PS5 Pro. But I will say this: there are some games that really do take advantage of the PSSR and all the the bips and bops that the PS5 Pro has. One of those is in fact is a game that I didn't really like all that much this year, and that is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I will honestly say that game looks a million times better on the Pro. Like it performs better, it looks way better. Now I'm at the end of the game where you're in the labyrinth. I mean, if you guys have played,
the Temple of the Ancients.
Yeah, so I'm towards the end of the game, so I couldn't really see like the outside like environments and stuff as much, but I see so much more detail at such a higher frame rate. I mean, I'm looking at the FPS on my TV, and I'm bouncing between 60 to 70 FPS, and the game looks really really good. Like it looks a lot better than it did on PS5 because honestly, if you played on this base model, it looks like shit on performance mode. Like it looks bad. It looks so bad that I think even Russ had mentioned this on one of the episodes previously. I've been playing in fidelity mode because it looks so bad. Like, and I wear glasses.
30 FPS.
Yeah. Now I wear glasses, so my vision is not the best, but there's a distinct difference. Like it looks like trash on the base PS5. Jan, I'm sure can vouch with me on this a little bit. Maybe he's not as harsh on it, but I'm sure he knows it doesn't look great. But on the Pro, it is super clean. I will say that.
That's really good to hear because that's one game I'm glad on possible future machines it'll have the visuals that it deserves because I do understand it does look really rough on performance, which is a shame because I kept it on performance because I think a game like that, like an action heavy game with a lot of effects going on, both visually but also maybe from a gameplay perspective, I think it's just better to play it at a high frame rate, right, as high as possible. So I completely respect the choice to go back to fidelity, but I just can't. Honestly, it is so hard to go back, and I do realize the difference. I mean, it's just smeared on performance. Looks like a lot of edges are blending into one, both of the characters, both animate and inanimate objects. You get used to it, but it's never pretty.
Yeah, and I noticed that with a lot of and that's the thing. Like Square Enix games in general, kind of have that fuzzy look to it sometimes. Like even if you go to Final Fantasy 15, right? Like that game has been cleaned up a lot. I don't know if you've been back to that one recently, but I booted up
on a while.
I booted it back up on the Series X, and it doesn't have like a next gen upgrade, but I'm playing it backwards compatible, and it definitely is cleaned up, but it still has that fuzzy look to it. It still has it, and so it's kind of a Square Enix thing. I feel like, but they really upped the ante on the Pro. I think the Pro really does it justice. So there's that. That's the biggest difference I saw, honestly.
So what you're telling me, to go back on your statement, because you dropped a bomb at the beginning, you said if you don't have a PS5, you're in the market for one, get the Pro. It's worth it to cash out the 200 extra.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, like if you don't have one, then maybe it might be a good idea to maybe just like save a couple $100 and grab it. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't already have one, but if you already have, so like I said, I got a list of games that I've actually tried on it, just to because I really thought about how I wanted to approach this because it's like I don't want to sound like a Sony pony because at one point I will say I got to give it props in some areas, but then in others it's like as of right now, I just don't. If there wasn't particular circumstances, I just don't know if I would have been felt as justified with the upgrade because, like I mean, even on the base PS5, I mean that beast behind me right there can play a lot of my favorite games. I mean, The Witcher 3 looks amazing on the base PS5. I mean, it looks the best honestly like if you don't have a PC, you don't have a great PC, this is like as close as you can get in my opinion. And I've seen The Witcher 3 on PC. It looks good. But I'll be honest with you, I think the PS5 is like right there with it. Okay, maybe you can't get 120 FPS. Dude, as long as I
And
got 60, dude, who cares? 60 or 70, I'm
yeah,
fine
I
with it.
mean, yeah, I mean that's like a whole other kind of worms, you know.
Yeah.
PC elitist will go to Greenlands to make you feel small when it comes to this technical stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I do agree. I mean, I probably sound like like a peasant, but what do I say, like a console peasant or whatever. But I do agree. Like once you get over a certain threshold, both in frame rate and visual fidelity, it's like why go in further, right? Why not be satisfied with 4K with more than 60 FPS? Like, come on, what
Yeah.
more do I need?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, yeah. I mean, especially when you've upgraded, like I was saying in my last episode, I upgraded to OLED,
Hmm.
and I mean, and that's the thing. Like with some ways of how this game looks, I don't know if it's the OLED or the PS5 Pro. I'm not sure what's making the game look better because honestly, I was using the OLED with my base PS5, and like for instance, The Last of Us Part Two. Last of Us Part Two is already a beautiful game. It was beautiful on PS4, but I mean, it looks awesome on my OLED before the Pro, and now with the Pro, it's it looks good. It probably looks better, but I would say it still looks just fine on the PS5. But to go with another game that made a bigger difference was Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil
Hmm.
4 remake is I think so on base PS5 the highest you can get is 60 FPS. With the PS5 Pro it is now up to 80 to 100 FPS, and I was tracking it on my TV as I was playing it. If you play it on the pro mode on the game, it's like apparently it's only 1080p apparently with this high frame rate on the pro, but it's one of the best 1080p's I've ever seen. And again, it might just be because like I'm playing on OLED, so everything kind of
Hmm.
pops a little bit more on that. But Resident Evil 4 had a pretty big difference as well. And again, that game is a killer on on the standard consoles. So like again, like I don't know how much of that is but then again, I couldn't get anything higher than 60 FPS on my original PS5. And then on this one, on the Pro, I'm getting up anywhere between 80 to 100. And I thought that was pretty nice. And it's a damn good, like, the frame rate is warranted enough to do another playthrough because of how
Yeah.
smoother it is, because it's already smooth anyway, but it's
So you're
pretty
saying
nice.
there's also like a gameplay in a gameplay enhancement. It's not just visual. It
I,
actually
I think that,
plays.
yeah, I think so. Like, it's weird that they didn't really like advertise it too much, but yeah, I mean, like
Hmm.
again, but I, like what I read is that it's 1080p, but I mean, it's a nice 1080p. Like, it's really really nice. Like
It
I,
used to be called Full HD.
that's right. Yeah, we're getting kind of old now. You mentioning that, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a good 1080p, and I mean the attention to detail is through the roof. I mean that gameplay I sent you. Now I don't know how well it rendered when I sent a gameplay to Jan of
Yeah,
the
I watched it on
scene.
my phone, so probably not as well.
Okay. And in Resident Evil 4 remake, there's and even the original Resident Evil 4 when you're getting surrounded in like this house, and you're trying to protect Ashley, and I
Hmm.
forgot what his name is. Not
Luis.
Carlos. That's it. I know something like that. But
Hmm.
he was in the house, and you got to defend it from the Ganados. And I sent Jan. That's actually gameplay from the Pro, and you probably can't really see it too well, but I mean that whole sequence was like it was so realistic, and like the gore and like the gun physics, the gun models, the way, I mean, you can see like the arm hairs on Leon. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
It looks damn
that
good.
game is insane. I
Yeah,
mean, I think what it is just the game has always been good. It just now it can finally pop off, and get
yeah,
what it look how it deserves.
yeah. So like
But
if you couldn't play on PC, like this is pretty close.
yeah, so that's all good and all, but I've heard, I've heard. Just want to put some, be devil's advocate. I've heard that some games look worse on the Pro, and I have,
Alan Wake
and
2.
oh man,
I was actually gonna get to that actually.
not the one I was thinking of, but all right.
Okay,
What happened?
well, all right. Well, I want you to tell me what you were thinking, but first I'll say this. Yeah, Alan, that was going to be my next one. I was giving the PS5 Pro props for the two games, and then I was going to give it a negative because
Some shit.
Alan Wake 2, I believe, looks worse on the Pro
What
than the
happened?
base PS5. I don't know what happened. Like, and I have to go back and look, but I don't think there's a separate toggle in an Alan Wake 2 that switches it to like Pro
Mm,
enhanced or whatever.
mm-hmm.
But that performance mode, it looks honestly, it reminds me of like Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth on the
Oh,
standard
really?
PlayStation. Yeah, it just
With the smooth borders?
looks very washed out. And you know how Alan Wake 2 is. You're in the dark a lot.
That's
Like
so
it's
weird because the game has a completely different engine. So,
Mhm.
man, that's curious.
Yeah, yeah. So I was a little disappointed in that. Matter of fact, I was like, "Ooh, this will give me more reason to finish the game and play the DLC," and I will do it eventually. But I'm not going to be in a hurry
Not
now
like this.
until they patch it. Until they patch and fix something out. So I don't know if I don't know if it's a pro problem or if that's a remedy issue, but I really hope they can get that sorted out. But what game were you thinking about?
I was talking because, okay, so as a forward, I don't own a Pro, obviously. I've only ever seen videos on YouTube. On YouTube, who obviously get, YouTube compresses and renders video to a point where it's not, the product, the video we see on the site is not indicative of the actual quality of the original video. But I've been concentrating on other things. I've seen this video by Digital Foundry, who shows that the ray tracing, or at least the way that it's been patched,
Mm-hmm.
kind of messed it up for Pro. When you look at certain effects, certain reflected objects, they look out of whack. They're jittery almost, and it happens on a lot of reflective surfaces. Even if you're like in an elevator, as the elevator moves, like this, there's a lot of little shiny spots and stuff like that. Just flicker a lot. It looks very unnatural. It looks very clumsy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one I can see. Okay, like I don't need this. Right, even if it's 4K, this looks obviously bad. Like special effects being messed up like that. And what's curious is that only happens on a patched version. If you somehow have the base version, like on a disc, it doesn't have that problem. So it's something that happened post patch, which is
What
curious to me.
what game is that?
Silent Hill 2. Sorry, did I
Oh,
not say
Silent
that?
Hill 2. I didn't hear Silent Hill 2, but that's immediately what I was going to say was because when you
Mm-hmm.
said elevator, I was thinking about
Mm-hmm.
Silent Hill 2 at that time.
But it's not just
Yeah.
the elevator. Like when you're walking, like right at the beginning of the game,
Hmm.
when you're by the car, there, like a lot of what do you call them? A lot of puddles.
Hmm.
Puddles are all flickering like that.
Yeah, I got you. Which, by the way, I got a question for you that you mentioned that about Silent Hill 2 that I actually had I was like, as soon as you said it, it made me think of like that. All right, let me just put a pin in that, and I'll ask you after we get done with the
All right.
whole PS5 Pro conversation. I actually did not. So just remember, I got a question about Silent Hill 2. So try to remind
I'll
me about
try to
that.
remember. I'll try to
Um,
remember.
regarding Silent Hill 2, I actually have not tried that on the Pro. Um, I was actually, I think I have it downloaded right now, but it's just one of those I hadn't got around to. I haven't heard exceptionally great things about it, and I honestly like. I'm gonna tell you right now, Jan. That's probably my game of the year. I know we haven't talked about that
Mm-hmm.
yet, but it's probably
Mm-hmm.
my game of the year
It's
uh,
up there.
because I haven't stopped thinking about it. And I think when you can't stop thinking about something, especially when it comes to like any kind of media, it's got to be right up there, if not the game of the year. And
Mm-hmm.
more, I'm telling you, before we do our official list, preemptively, it's Silent Hill
Which
2.
by the but oh, okay, thanks for the heads up. Which by the way, we could talk about the video game awards because there's a bit of a controversy with the nominees. I don't know if you've heard.
I've seen the nominees. Yeah, we definitely need to talk about that because it is interesting. But so yeah, but I might have to come back to like the whole how does it run on my end as far as Silent Hill 2 goes. So
Mm-hmm.
that was one I have not tried. One also another game that I haven't tried was I don't have the game, but it's on sale right now on Amazon. It's also on sale on PlayStation. That's Stellar Blade, and I actually
Oh.
heard that Stellar Blade is it's beautiful on the Pro. I heard it's like
Mm.
but it's way better on the Pro than like the base models. I don't know if you've seen anything about that or not.
No, I haven't. I mean, honestly, I didn't look too much into it, like I didn't go game for game. All that I have is just what I heard.
Yeah,
Stellar Blade, yeah, well, let's. I want to play the game sooner or later. It's just
I do too. Yeah, I'm
the
just
discount is not enough,
yeah.
let's say,
I agree. I agree.
which makes sense. It's just released, so it's okay.
When did it come out? When did that come out? Yeah, I know it's
A,
been
I,
a
I
few months
want
now,
to
but
say April. I want to say April, but I'll figure it out in just a sec.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean,
The
yeah, I know it's been like at
April
least
26th of April.
okay. All right. Well, it's been a little while, man. I was hoping it would come down to like $30 range because then I probably
Well,
would get it then.
see, that's curious. I don't know how that works. Maybe it's sales or something because Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which came out in January, a little bit earlier, but still the first half of the year, I found it like in September for like 30.
It's on
While
Amazon right
Stellar
now for
Blade,
$15 right now.
well, there we go. While Stellar Blade, it's I don't know how this kind of is over there. Here's like 60 euro at the least.
Yeah.
You won't find it for like a lesser price, at least not on the market, obviously.
Are you still like while we're on that subject? I know we had talked about it before about
Oh
like
God, what is it?
we didn't know if we're gonna cover it on the show because
Oh,
of
okay.
just with how yeah, listen, I'm not trying to sound like that type of guy. I don't care. Like whatever. Like she you know said that she's
Well,
whatever
just
she
say
look
it.
whatever she's what's the word I'm looking for she's oversaturated in the sexual department, the main
Okay,
character.
okay, yeah,
And it's
definitely.
probably a
Eve,
better way of
right?
saying, yeah, Eve, yeah. So, like, I know that was one of the reasons why we were kind of like, it just seemed, it's not that we have an issue with that. It's just like, I don't know. Like, so
Well,
I feel personally kind of weird playing it because it's like I'm married. It is a little weird. Like
well,
if I came in and I saw my wife playing as some dude that was like cut up and shirtless and wearing a freaking banana hammock, I might be like, yeah, I might have a little bit of an issue with that, but you know.
uh, I didn't even think about that. Like, it's just, I, yeah, I think what we said like last time is that it's a bit childish. Did you hear what I said, or did I like
Oh no, I heard you. I'm sorry. A bit
did it stutter?
childish. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like I don't mind the oversexed characters. I've been into anime and manga for a long time, but
Yeah.
this is a lot. This is very exaggerated, and it's not just her design. It's again, I might change my mind, but remember, I played the demo, and the beginning of the demo is you getting out of this pod, and as you're getting out, she does the most sinuous or sensual possible movement, and the camera pans out all over her body. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Because yeah, whatever.
No, I
It,
get what you're
it,
saying. I get what you're saying. No,
it
please.
feels sleazy. Like even if I
Yeah, it
were
does.
single, it's like, what the fuck am I doing?
It does, man. It does.
Which is not. It didn't have to be like that because, like, Bayonetta, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah,
also very sexed up, but it's not. It doesn't feel sleazy to watch her. It feels. It's very exaggerated. It's a great hyperbole. It's a what do you call? It's a caricature, but it's still decent. Right? It's tasteful. There we go. It's
yeah,
tasteful.
yeah.
And I didn't get Visor Sublet, which is a shame because the soundtrack and the
Yeah.
and all the environments look insane.
Dude, it looks
And
awesome. Like all that looks great. Like honestly, like yeah. I mean, if she was like, I don't know. Like I guess
well, I don't mind. Again, I don't mind her. I mind the way that she's being portrayed because it's not just the character. I'm
yeah,
telling you,
yeah,
it's not
yeah,
just
yeah.
the design.
Yeah,
It's
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's not really what she's dressed in. It's just the fact that they focus on it and they know what they're
hmm
doing. Like these dude, like, and
hmm
again, like, I'm not trying to sound like a little bitch. Like, listen, I like females. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm not. It's for as a man, like that kind of stuff.
hmm
Like, I've talked to my wife about this. Like, the thing is, at the end of the day, like, if men are very visual creatures, and so when you see that, it's like, okay, like I'm all right. I'm picking up what you're putting down, but at the same time when I don't know, it feels weird. But look, when
Well,
it
they're
comes down to price,
overselling
I'll
it.
get it.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I think. They're overselling it. Is I
yeah.
feel like it's. But yeah,
But it's
we
too
were
bad.
saying.
I want to. It's
Mhm.
too bad though. I want to try it because I do hear that. I have tried the demo, but I do hear that the main game, the game looks good on the PS5 Pro. So I really, if it could just come
Mhm.
down like 15 more bucks, I maybe would go ahead and scoop it. Which I do have another game that I did finally buy, by the way. And I don't know if I told you, but we can get to that in a minute. We do have a comment from a SMR IVU. Uh, I don't
Oh, it
know.
just says
Yeah, yeah. Hello, you play in which part now? Kill how many bosses? 8 bosses and 13 mini bosses in this game, by the way. Well,
which game are we talking about?
yeah, yeah. What game are we talking? If you're still here, what game are we talking about? Because yeah, I'm not too
If
sure.
it's Stellar Blade, then we haven't actually played it. We
Yeah,
played the demo.
played the demo. It was all right. It was dude. Like you say, the music and that first set piece when you
Mm.
it kind of makes me want to play it now talking about it. When you do come out the pod and it's that big sexual like
hmm
vagrants that she shows off, and then you're running up this hill and you're seeing all these like pretty much all out war breakout where you're seeing like you're seeing boulders come down and they almost
hmm
flatten a bunch of enemies in front of you, and it's like all this chaos. It's really really dope. It's like a spectacle, but yeah, I feel you there too. There was another game that I had bought. I bought it for really, really cheap on PSN. I didn't get a physical copy, unfortunately, but I did buy Dragon's Dogma 2. I did buy that
Oh man,
because I
did you
think it
play the
came.
first one ever?
I played it. The first one I played a little. I didn't get too super far into it because it just wasn't. I felt like it wasn't really for me personally, but
hmm
uh, I've really liked what I've seen with this one, and I don't know when I'm going to start it because my backlog is ridiculous. But when I saw it was like for 35 bucks, I didn't skip that. I heard that on the Pro it runs 60 FPS. I did hear that. On the base, it
Dragon's
does
Dogma
not.
2.
Yeah,
It
Dragon's Dogma
doesn't.
2. It doesn't
Are you
run
shitting
60
me?
on the base PS5. Award-winning character Maggie Robertson, aka Lady. I'll see. Oh, Dimitrescu. Oh, Lady Dimitrescu
Are we
from
talking Village?
Resident Evil 8 Village. Yeah.
Uh,
Good God, Jesse Pinkman, aka Salvatore Moreau, Andy Norris. Oh wow, this seems like your game, man.
yeah, really throwing a lot of trivia our way.
Yeah, yeah, and then Neil Humor, aka Carl Heisenberg, Michelle. What? Okay. Uh,
The whole IMDb page right there. I mean, we
yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, we appreciate. Yeah, we'll get into that because I mean, look, we can get into that now. I did play a little bit of Resident Evil 8 Village. I didn't play far though because I actually did my first playthrough on the Series X, and so
Mhm.
I bought the PlayStation 5 version for like $10 at on Amazon. So I was like, I love this game enough that I bought it again, and I started my first playthrough, and I got through the first initial section where the werewolves are chasing after you. It's pretty much like the village scene in Resident Evil 4.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah,
it's kind of very
when I
reminiscent of that,
saw
but
that, I was like, okay.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's straight up same same kind of thing. But
It's identical.
yeah,
Like they were chasing me, and then I figured out, oh shit, I'm not supposed to run. I'm supposed to fight back. And then I realized this is just Resident Evil 4. You even get
yeah.
to like climb on the roofs,
hmm
and it's yeah.
Yeah, but just to get the PS5 Pro review out the
Yeah,
way
go
for
ahead, go
that,
ahead, go ahead.
it looks good. But it looked good on the Series X and it looked good on the base PS5. I didn't see how the frame rate was. I didn't see about that because Resident Evil 4 remake definitely runs at a higher frame rate, but I
hmm
don't know about Village. But it runs
Well,
good.
well, Village runs really good on base already, so I guess it'd be harder to see the difference.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, Todd Soul, aka Ethan Winters. Yeah, oh yeah, our hero. Yeah, that guy who can come back to life, chop his own hand
Yeah.
off.
That guy can never catch a break.
So speaking of Village, I mean, so you're playing it for the first time, Jan. I mean, this might be a good
Yes.
time to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Where you at in
Yeah.
it, and
Sure.
what are your thoughts?
I just beat Lady Dimitrescu, and I got out of the castle back into the village. I think I'm somewhere there. Um, and yeah, and I'm enjoying it so far. Even more than seven. And I know that is not like a lot of people enjoy seven more than this one. I'll tell you what, I did not love seven. As much as I appreciate it for what it's done historically. Like I understand it pretty much revitalized the franchise. The franchise was dying before this, and it kind of brought a little bit of a lot of new blood to it and a new twist to it. We're going first person now while still retaining some of the old. I just it's a bit too. Maybe I sound like one of those old school like RE veterans, but this one, both seven and eight, are a bit too action oriented for me. Like with the remakes, you said this a lot of times. The balance is perfect, especially with two remake between puzzle exploration and actual combat. Well, with these ones, oh my god. Well, what I was gonna say is that I'm enjoy, despite the fact that I'm not into seven. This is a direct sequel to seven, both narratively and in every other kind of way, right? The
Mm-hmm.
gameplay formula and all that. I'm enjoying this one. I enjoy
Good.
the environment a lot. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's rightfully creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand where it's supposed to be set in, because they did this thing where they said they moved to Europe as if it's like as if there's not like a bunch of countries in there, right?
Yeah.
And I don't understand where and everybody talks like fluent, almost American English, so I'm not sure where we're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is just a nitpick. I enjoy it a lot. I really enjoy getting chased by Lady Dimitrescu. I thought she was the main villain due to all
Mm-hmm.
the marketing, but obviously she's not. She's just one of the many goons who are at the how do you say it? They respond to Mother Miranda, which is pretty
Mm-hmm.
much the guy from RE4. What's his face? The
Oh yeah. That's is this?
it
It's not Sadler, is it?
is Sadler.
It is
Yeah,
Sadler.
yeah, Sadler,
Okay.
Sadler.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in that, man, because like,
It's a bit
and
too similar,
so
isn't it?
yeah, in my so yeah, you could tell heavy inspiration from four, which is not a bad thing. I mean, four is amazing, and I mean, if you could replicate that, some fine. The only thing is, Ethan Winters is kind of stale. I don't really. I mean, I don't want to say I
Yeah.
don't care about him, but it doesn't have that same weight. It's like a Leon Kennedy, and then but I will say that yeah, like you said, I think it definitely. I love the atmosphere a lot. I actually
Mhm.
one of my favorite things about Seven more than anything was I love the atmosphere. I love the big house. I love the secret nooks and crannies and different rooms you can go into. I just love that about Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Same thing with that. Like with just like
Mhm.
this one place and has all these rooms and closets and secret corridors and all that. Uh, but the one thing I don't like about Seven is I hate the enemies. I'm not a fan of the molded. I think they're samey. I
Oh
think
yeah.
they're basic design. Honestly, some of the worst designs in Resident Evil. Period. I think Village gets it right because I love the look of the werewolves. I think they look awesome, and you never really would have thought like werewolves in Resident Evil. I thought that was kind of
Boy,
interesting and different.
here we are.
And some of
And
my
vampires, by the way.
yes, and some of my favorite enemies in the game that are more like base level or like when you're down in the dungeons of the castle. And I know you came
Mhm.
across them because you finished the castle sequence, but uh, it's like they're kind of like zombies, but they're holding like swords and like a shield. Have you ran into those guys
I
yet?
have not run into those.
What? That's
No, I
I
haven't.
thought that was. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was the
No,
dungeon of
it's
the
good.
castle. My bad, dude. They're kind of like basic enemies. They're not like boss fights or anything like that. But uh, did we just lose Jan? Did we just lose him? Whoops. Yeah, I just lost it. Uh, yo, you
I'm on
good?
stage. Yeah, I'm doing all right. What happened?
I don't know. I don't. Everything was fine, and then you just cut out.
I cut out. Oh, because on my end, look like you froze.
Oh,
So,
really?
mm.
Hmm. Oh,
But
I don't
maybe
know.
if I was cut out, then probably it's a problem on my end. Quick
Uh,
recap.
yeah. Anyway. So anyway, the enemies in village. I like the guys. If you ever come across them, I thought they were underneath the castle, but I might be thinking ahead. But they kind of have like they're kind of like zombies, but they have like swords and shields, and they'll swing at you and stuff. And I just
Well,
thought
those
that was
are
super
the.
cool.
Well, I guess maybe I haven't. I just thought they were all werewolves.
It's been a
Wait,
while. Maybe they're werewolves. I don't know. I thought they were
maybe
zombies.
like maybe I'm just that stupid. I haven't realized that they're different enemies, like from the ones that attack you in the. But yeah, there are some that come at me with weapons.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Not maybe not shields, but
RE4 is the same way. Like they'll have like some of the Ganados will have like
the
knives,
infect.
forks,
Well,
and
there's also the infected armor in the
yeah,
in
yeah,
RE4.
that's right, that's right. So, but yeah, I did like that. But yeah, I'm like you though. Like Lady Dimitrescu was so like intimidating, and
Mm.
with their three daughters and all that stuff. Like I was kind of excited to see more of that, and then just it's kind of over, and then you move on, and like the game is okay after that. But I think the
Oh,
castle. I think the
I'm
castle is
past
the
the
best part.
highlight.
In my opinion, now SMR Ivu, the guy who's been commenting on this on our episode, he might feel differently. He might think the whole game is great. I just felt like
Mm.
personally it kind of fell off a little bit after that. So, but I'm excited you're playing it though. I think Jan can answer this one.
Ah, I have completed both Not a Hero. I mean, all Not a Hero, Daughters, and of Zoe. Happy Birthday. That Call of Duty Zombies esque mode. I've beaten all of them. There is one, dude. It's crazy. I've beaten all those. And I thought they were okay. I think, yeah. I mean, they're either too short to. I mean, End of Zoe is that. I mean, they're gimmicky. They're nice. They're okay. Like they're not. It's not like I don't understand why they exist. You know, it's like most DLCs that feel like kind of tacked on. But it's also like I wouldn't mind if I have never played them. I wouldn't mind if they just put effort into a newer game instead of that. So I'm a bit on the middle there. But yes, what you said, the enemies, at least they're varied here. Like thank
Mhm.
goodness. In RE7, even though they were varied, they were still the same model. Just that I don't know, this one's big or this
Mhm.
one's on walks on 4 feet.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
Well, I will say there is a part of RE Village that I think you'll like. It when you get to it's a place called House Moreau. When you get
Okay.
there, I'm just gonna leave it at that. That is a
All
really
right.
good section, and I will say um you may want to play that with the lights on, and that's
Oh
how it's,
man. Okay, you're kind
that
of hyping it up.
that is a good part. But it kind of after that, it's just like shooty shooty bang bang. You know, you come across some more werewolves. There's a couple unique enemy types that pop up, which is always warranted. And then that there's one of the final boss fights, and again, I don't want to spoil the for you, but
Okay.
it's really out there and stupid, but whatever.
Okay.
It's
Oh, I
Resident
can't
Evil.
wait.
It's Resident Evil for you.
It's
I mean,
Resident Evil. Yeah.
so it kind of fits.
You know what I just thought about?
What you got?
Like, not to cut you off, but if you think because you mentioned Ethan, how he's a bit stale, right?
Hmm.
Well, you know what? I'd cut the I give the guy a break because he's the only RE protagonist that's kind of really did not sign up for any of this. I mean, you can say that in 7 he was kind of asking for it when he went way in the middle of nowhere, right? But
Hmm.
this time, the opening is shocking this time. So this guy's fucking murder your wife. They gun her down in front of your eyes. Then you see someone walks in. It's Chris Redfield. He gives her the finishing blow. He fucking shoots her fucking head off. Then they steal your baby and they transport you. We are like in the middle of nowhere. It's yeah. I was very shocked. I did not expect that.
What I don't get is though, why do they keep changing Chris Redfield's
Voice
look,
actor
man? Well, voice actor
or the
and
look.
his look, man. It's like they keep messing it up. Like, look how he looks in Resident Evil 7, and look at him here.
He's different.
Yes.
Well, let me see, because he only appears like in one
I
scene, so let me
prefer
see
I
that.
prefer his look in Resident Evil Village. He just looks more like a beast, like he did in Resident Evil 5.
Yep, I was gonna say that. I really like the way he looks here. Well, you know what? I was never too married to his look, in general, like in any of the games. This is the first time that actually I think I like it.
Hmm.
So it's kind of whatever. I mean, people change with age, and also these are all
With
like all these games have like very different.
people change with age. Look at how he
Yeah.
looks in Resident Evil 7. You're telling me this dude just gained like 50 to 100 pounds? Because how long has it been?
Oh, he
Like,
looks so slim. Oh my god. Uh, oh yeah, he's unrecognizable. You're right.
people change. Yeah, what change faces? What's that movie like Face Off from like Nicolas Cage and John Travolta? Have you seen that?
I have not seen that,
It's a movie called
but
Face Off where they switch faces. That's exactly what that
John
reminds me of.
Travolta and Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No, it's
Well, okay, that is correct. I was gonna, and okay, I was gonna say that it's like counter argument that okay, maybe not in older games he look different, but if he looks different in 7 and 8, yeah, that's weird.
you got. Don't read that. Sorry, don't read that.
Okay,
Dang it.
okay. I only read like factory with scrotums or something
Oh,
like
come
that.
on, SMR Evu, dude. I don't know how to say your name. Come on, man. You can't spoil it so much.
I'm going to forget it by the time I play
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah. He probably will. So but yeah. So overall, though, you like
For now,
Village.
I'm pretty, yeah, I like it. Um, yeah, I do. I mean, there's the fact that I feel like I'm blasting through this game way too easy. Like it's way too easy to like you get into this castle, right? And maybe it's just the old Resident Evil fan in me, thinking this is gonna be like the next RPD. Maybe not the next Manor, but the next RPD or something like that, where I'm gonna spend a good chunk of the game here. But dude, I was out of there in like 2 hours tops.
Wow,
Yeah, I mean
that's quick.
okay, it's not me bragging. I'm saying there was not a moment where I had to like stop and think about what I was doing. The game gives you keys and it keeps you on this one straight path. Even there's like a lot of different rooms you can explore. Most of them are either closed or closed by another side, so that you can have the one path to go and just pick up everything you need on the way.
Hmm.
I feel it's a bit shallow. I mean, I like it,
Yeah,
me.
and they try to have like uh the Mister X type thing where it's like
With limited
with Lady
trust, yeah.
Demetresque like following around, and then the daughters as well. They would find you, and then they can
That's
chase you and stuff.
true. Well,
But it
if
didn't
you
have that same effect. It didn't have that same effect as those.
well, yeah, you know what I'll tell you. I probably, if this were like the first time I came across like a stalker enemy in Resident Evil, I would have loved it, and I think my lasting impression would have been stronger than what it is the one of Mr. X, because I think they're very scary, especially with your checks. You can like enter in a room from a door you were supposed to exit from. You're like, oh shit, like what now? Mr. X does that too, but I like her animation more, where she's obviously way too tall for her doors, so she's kind of squeezes through, and then stands there like with all her might upon, and the daughters too, and the daughters too with like the little flies that formed them. That's very spooky. I got spooked. The only reason why I wasn't spooked is because I've already seen this. Like I know what's up. I also know that they can do shit to me if I'm in a safe room. See, I'm not reading, like it's not personal. SMR Evu. I'm not reading your comments until Dylan approves them. Approves them to be spoiler free.
Yeah, he's definitely going into some spoilers, but I we appreciate you watching.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, I actually agree. The way they did it was good. Like especially with her being so tall and kind of getting underneath door frames. Yeah, I thought all that was good. It just like you say, like if I hadn't seen the stalker stuff before, I'd be like, oh man. But at the same time, like you know, she's. Would you really run away from her?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I would be very conflicted.
I
Well,
mean, I don't want to die, but I kind of want to see where this goes. I mean,
yeah,
maybe I can change her.
and maybe I can change her. And you know what? If I'm gonna die, right? If I feel like I'm not gonna be able to escape the castle, I might as well go, with a bang.
Yeah, literally, right. Yeah, no, that's cool, man. So are you playing? They do have a third person mode. Are you playing a first person or third person?
I'm playing first person because that's the ORGG, the original way to play. But I am
Hmm.
curious about the third person. You know what? I was actually thinking about it because they offer it like that. But then they said like that all the cutscenes switch to first person perspective, and I thought that would be a little bit immersion breaking. So I'm just
Hmm.
gonna keep it for my first playthrough. I'm gonna keep it like that.
How do you activate third person, by the way? Like, because I was
After
actually,
he,
I was gonna
yeah, go
try
ahead.
to like when I was gonna test it out for the show,
Mm-hmm.
like I booted up my last save, and I was playing it first person. Like, oh wait, let me see if I can change it back to third, and I could not figure out how to do it. I mean, how do you do it? You go to
I would,
settings or
I would guess. I never did that. I had the option, when the game starts, but
maybe that's what it. Man, that would be kind of
I, don't-
stupid. You can
I
only
don't think
choose.
so.
You can only choose
Nah,
what perspective you're playing in at the very beginning. I don't
I'll
know.
look it
That's
up. I'll look it up.
Yeah, definitely do that. It might be like a settings thing. I mean, I didn't look that far into it. I just thought it was like a simple button press and then you go to third because I think you had to. I think I'm not. Did you buy like a special edition or like the base version?
Well, you know what it is? I have the base version, but I already bought the DLC, the
Oh, okay.
Winter's expansion pack. It might be there.
Got you.
Let me see that. Yeah, only available if you purchase the Winter's expansion
Which I have that. I'm almost positive I bought that. I think, but I
on
don't know.
PlayStation.
Yeah, but I don't know how you activate it or like how you can switch
Yeah,
to
yeah, I get what you mean.
yeah.
Uh, in order to access the third-person view mode, you first have to buy the expansion. All right. Once you own it, whenever you start a new game, you'll be given the choice of either first or third person.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's.
lame. That's so lame.
Blah, 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 blah. If you're in the middle of Village's story and want to start over, then don't worry, as you can still change the viewpoint to third person, no matter where you happen to be. Okay, blah, 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 blah. From the main menu, select options, go to camera, and choose third
Oh,
person. So you have
okay.
to do it from the main menu.
Main menu. Okay. Oh, well, that's good to know. So maybe I might go back and dabble with a little bit in third person. Last time I tried it, something felt off about it because I think I was getting so
Mhm.
because I think when I tried it, it was after I finished Resident Evil 4 remake, and I got so used to that. And then when you play as Ethan, you realize Ethan is not Leon, and you're like,
Yeah,
I'll just play first person. I'd rather do that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the game is made for it. Anyways, and you're right. Like that village, I was thinking, why am I struggling so much in that village section? It's because I can't, somersault on these guys, and I can't do all those wrestling moves.
Yeah, yeah, I know, man. It's going back and playing a little bit of Resident Evil 4, the
Like even the
trial pro.
original is just.
Yeah, I know,
Mm,
I know. Even with that one, with the tanky type controls, it still like feels so good to the combat still feels awesome in that game. So,
mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, no, I think I was just curious to see what your thoughts were. I know that if you guys are new to the show, Jan was giving his thoughts on the Resident Evil series as a whole. Actually, I feel good that I was the one that kind of put him on that
Mm.
journey, and a journey it's been. There's been some games that have been kind of ass, but there's a lot of games in the series that are actually really really good. It's not like Silent Hill good, but it's as far as story
No,
goes, maybe
like no, it's
gameplay, but
mostly no, it's mostly very positive. I mean, the first games I played kind of got me into the whole series, made me want to play all the rest. Yeah, I mean, there's like the ugly era of Resident Evil, but
yeah,
no, I know I really enjoy. I'm really glad I took part in this journey. And Village, at least for now, is the end point. I'm kind of done with the spin-offs. I played a few, and those were enough,
yeah.
to say the least. So I'm glad, like I'm finishing up with Village, and then I'll just play, whatever else comes out.
Well, you might be getting a Resident Evil 9 trailer anyway coming in the next couple
I'm
weeks.
I'm
So
That's what I heard, and it's probably going to be Ethan's too, right? They're going to be like an Ethan trilogy. At
sure,
least that's what I'm feeling. Oh,
yeah,
okay,
we'll
okay,
see.
okay,
Let's
okay.
let's wait and don't look in the
I
comments.
I won't look in the comments, and I'll play. Finish the game before we continue
Yeah,
this
do that because
conversation.
this guy is trying to be a no offense, you're being a dick, buddy, but he's put he's put some
What is he
spoilers.
doing?
in the chat. Oh, somebody's calling me. But anyway, so
You need to
uh,
take that. I can take over.
oh
I
no, it's all good. It's
can.
like it's some random number. My wife and I have been getting these like stupid calls
Oh
pop up,
man.
and they're like trying to sell us something, and we're like, we don't want it. Stop calling. And then one dude said "f you" to my wife on the phone the
Oh
other day.
man.
Yeah, my wife was like, "Can you take me off the call list?" And the guy was just like, "Okay, fuck you," and then hung up. Legit,
Damn.
yeah, yeah. These dudes, yeah,
Oh, that's
they're
something
relentless. They're
else.
relentless over here.
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah. So anyway, is there anything else of note you want to talk about with Village so far, or is that pretty much your
I
first initial
mean,
thoughts?
yeah, as much as I played like 4 to 5 hours. I think that's all I can really say. I mean, the shooting feels right. Everything feels good. It's just I gotta play it all the way through to give a full opinion.
You know what's
Maybe even
weird?
play a few more times.
You know what's weird? You actually just said something. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe I got to play it for a prolonged period of time. But I feel like the shooting in Resident Evil Village doesn't feel as good as like RE4 remake. But maybe that's because of the third person. Because I just prefer third person. I just think
It
I
could be
prefer that.
that. I
It
mean, it
could.
could be that I haven't played RE4 remake in a decent while, and the last Resident Evil playing game I've played is 7, which I didn't really like. Which I didn't, I as I said, appreciated it, but it's not my favorite. I think going back to this one, not shooting at the fucking mold that again, just it was such a joy. It might have been that, honestly. Like the enemies that actually react to my bullets, it's insane. I shoot a guy in the head, and he stumbles over.
Mhm.
It's
Isn't
like
that
with a
nice?
mold
Isn't
edit.
that nice? I love that.
Isn't yeah.
I never get enough of like that, like actual like damage feedback. So like if
You think it's a guarantee, right?
I know, man. It's not a standard nowadays. It's like, man, come on. I love that, dude. It's attention to detail makes things just feel more realistic.
It also makes you play more strategically, right? Now
Hmm.
there's a point to me shooting in specific areas because I know that it'll like stun them for a while, like
Hmm.
create a window of opportunity or something.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It's and that's like when I play RE4, both the remake and the original. Like you shoot a Ganado in the leg, they drop to their knee, and then you can come up and just knee them right in the face. Man,
Mhm.
it's so nice.
Like even The Last of Us Part 2 and
Yeah.
Part 1 to some extent, same
Yep.
thing. You shoot a guy in the leg, you can get him, have a hostage.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's what I need, and it really helps with the I say the word immersion a lot because I just like being immersed in a game. Like I just
Hmm.
if I wasn't immersed, and that leads me to another game I wanted to talk about with the pro when it comes to immersion, and that's Horizon Zero Dawn. Now I talked about this a little
Okay.
bit in the last episode about like I've been trying to play it through it again. I've been trying to play through it again, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but obviously there's a few other PlayStation exclusives that I've never finished. This is one of them. Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West are like two of the only very few other Sony exclusives that I just can't come to finish, man. I get far in either one of them and then I put it down.
Again.
No, I'm still dabbling with Horizon a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm still getting bored. Like I'm just bored. Like after an hour, I'm just like, how many times have I shot this same machine? Like I'm just kind of, like I'm kind of feeling that already. No matter what upgrades I get, no matter what gear I have. Which, by the way, it's really hard to get like higher rated gear in that game because it's like a grind. You have to get like the heart of a sawtooth or like the oh yeah, most times it's like a heart of a sawtooth, heart of like a razor tooth,
Yeah,
things
like
like
rare
that.
components from like
Yeah,
strong
like
machines, pretty
yeah,
much.
and
Yeah.
and then, dude, it's really hard to kill them because you don't have the best
Mm.
armor and weapons. So like it's kind of a grind, And I'm fine with it
Mm.
some, but it kind of just when I'm just sitting there, just like getting one shot it. I know you're a big Souls guy, so it probably doesn't affect you, but
Mm.
when I'm getting one shot it by moves that are completely ridiculous, and I'm over here and I can't outrun the moves, I immediately like don't even want to. I
What
don't
is
even want to. I'm just looking at this comment of,
it?
but like
Can I read it?
let's see. Hmm.
Is he talking about like? Breaking Bad.
Few special dialogues are awesome, so you're not local, huh? Mother Miranda like you, lady supersized bitch, ugly ass
Wha-
psycho doll, and moronic freak. Kill me, move up the chain. No power of daughter. Are you using a translator, bud? I don't even know what the hell you're saying right now. Okay.
Oh, this is almost creeping me out. Like, I
Yeah,
don't want to
dude.
offend anybody, but it's
I don't know. Anyway, so make a long story short, I feel like I'm hitting a lull with this conversation. My thing is Horizon just does not keep me entertained. I don't know what it is. As far as the spectacle of it, it's one of the best I've ever seen. Like some of these machines and how big they are, especially in Forbidden West, man. Like it's outstanding. It's like holy shit. I just can't get into the story. The story is abysmal. It's not terrible. It's just average. It's nothing special.
Mhm.
Aloy has no personality. It's so hard to keep playing.
Like
It just
none of the characters have any personality,
it's
and that's the
so
problem.
hard, man. It's so hard, and I want to keep playing. And
Mhm.
I did say I was going to finish the first one. I don't know about that DLC though, the Frozen
Oh,
Wilds. I don't
you know,
know.
you know what I'll tell you? I played it when I was still really into it, into the game, and don't remember anything about it. I remember like zero about it. It's like even for someone who's into it, is it's pretty forgettable.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I mean, like, I want, like, I don't want to leave it because, like, especially when you have story DLC like that, I feel like I leave a game unfinished if I don't go
Nah,
back
don't
and
look at
play
it
it.
that way. I mean,
Uh,
it's an expansion. It's not part of the base game. Just let it go. And I'm telling you, it's more of the same. So this could be a good thing or a bad thing. Judging by what you're saying, it's more of a bad thing in your case.
mhm.
So I'm telling you, like I finished both of the game, platinum both of those. But while platinum the second one, I realized that I'm not into these things anymore. I feel like it just
Both. Hey, Russ, how's it going,
both.
buddy? We need to have you back on the show, man.
Hey, oh, I
Uh,
didn't realize it was Russ. Hey, hello,
yeah,
Russ.
both, man.
We're
I'm not.
talking
I'm
about
not.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're talking about a bit of both. Yeah, I mean they're kind of. I mean I don't know. Maybe like someone who's more into this franchise, like a greater fan, could actually tell you about how maybe Forbidden West is has some flaws that the original game doesn't have. But to me, the way I see them, they're both kind of on the same plane. Both narratively, technically, obviously not if you don't look at a remake, but like narratively, even with all the features. I mean, the problem with games like these is that even games that I like sometimes have it is that you have so many tools at your disposal, but really only a few of them are that useful. Like
Mhm.
think about the first Spider-Man. You have like a shit ton of ways you can shoot your web, but you're probably gonna like stick to the original web shooters, or you're gonna use like two or three more. Whereas
Mhm.
the second one, they made it a lot more easier to use to access all the other ones.
Right.
Horizon is kind of like that. Like you can do a bunch of shit, but most of it is not really doesn't get you anywhere. It is cool though. I still like the fights because I like the fact that you can hit them in specific spots to make them hurt more, or even better, make them fall off certain
Mhm.
make them drop certain components, which you can only pick up that way. Or maybe if you like, you shoot off a turret that they have on their tail, they can't use the turret anymore. See, that's the part of the game that to this day I really appreciate. But everything
Yeah.
else, well, okay, maybe the visuals, but like everything else is.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with everything you just said. I think the being able to shoot off different components to weaken the enemy. I love all that stuff. The only thing I will say is I just feel like the weapons I'm using just doesn't deal that much damage compared to who I'm fighting. And I know this is like I know like in Souls that's like the whole thing, right? Like
Well,
even in Lies of P, right? Like you're or games of that nature where you have like powerful weapons, but some of them just don't do
mhm.
shit against the boss or whatever. In Horizon, I feel like that's exemplified to me. Like I feel like I no matter what weapon I'm using, the best weapon in the game by far that I found in the first one is the longbow that has the longer draw distance. Well, you got to have to draw the arrow a lot longer. And I actually just this is perfect. Honestly, this is a this comment
Hey,
by
thank you, Wilmus Brania. Thank you.
dude, awesome comment. Yo, good evening. Horizon, best idea, worst delivery. Now, I would agree with that. Now, I'm not gonna say worst delivery because I don't think the game is like terrible. I just, again, I think that when it comes to like the story and why I'm doing what I'm doing, I just don't give a shit. And this guy is still talking about Resident
He's
Evil.
going off.
Oh God, man, God bless you,
the
brother.
rope, the rope caster's peak. Is that the grappling hook?
Is that the one where like you shoot into an enemy and it locks them in place? Like you can shoot like a bunch of anchor them to the ground where they don't move. I think that might be the one. Either that or is that the one where you shoot like a line? They go like let's say if I'm running away.
I think it's that one. I
Oh,
think
the
it
one
was just
where you can
described.
like
It
it
activates a neuron.
there's a trip
Oh, that's a
caster and
trip.
there's a rope caster, and I think the rope
Oh
caster
man.
is the one where it's like anchors the enemy into the ground. I like that one too if that's the one you're talking about. It is awesome.
Man, I have to go back to the game because I don't remember the names of all these weapons. But you know
Yeah.
what? I think the story is a bit worse in Forbidden West. I think that I'll just say this and then close this tangent. But I remember that while I was playing it, the thing that excited me the most about it was the idea that we're gonna fight aliens, because that's kind of what it felt the game was leading up to, right? There are these humans, by the way, other humans who lived on like some other colonies. I don't remember the specifics. And I'm like, oh shit! From this whole game, I was thinking, man, I can't wait for Horizon 3, where fucking aliens are gonna, be added to the mix. We're gonna be to an alien planet, which is bad for two reasons. First off, if the only thing that keeps you excited about the game is its sequel, there's something wrong about that. And second off, I got copped out. There are no, what they do is the end. They do so, oh god, I don't remember the specifics, so feel free to like prove me wrong. But from what I remember, they do something, you break something, or I don't know, some shit like that. And then they say something like, "Oh man, we're never gonna have to worry about this threat ever again." That's what I felt like. Like maybe I'm wrong, but I remember that in the end, you defeat the evil lady. You defeat her advanced machines, which looks sick, by the way. I would have loved to see more of those. Um, and then like you break something on her ship, and then they go, "Oh man, this is good. We can put that behind us." Your real names. Well, SMR, you're gonna have to at least take me to dinner first to know that. But so
My name is
Bill.
Ralph Macchio. The guy to my right is Danny Clevens.
Oh man, I actually like that one. I don't like it, but as much as I don't like getting doxxed live. Um,
what were we talking? Are you talking about the ending of Forbidden West? Is that what you were talking about? So
you haven't played it, so yeah.
dude, like I said, and I don't know if Russ just came into the chat, and I'm pretty sure I've talked to you about this before, brother. But those are Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. I have not finished. Those are the only like real two can. The guy to the right is Ratman's dad. That makes sense. I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a.
I'm just kidding.
I don't think you can catch the reference, but
no, but I mean, I just thought of a rat, and then you kind of look like it, so I will deal with it.
Well, do you want me to explain it to you, or do you want to just go on with your life?
All right, go ahead. Sure.
No, I mean,
what's
if I understood what he's aiming at, there's this Italian comic, right, titled Ratman, where the main guy, he finds out he has a dad, and the dad is the bad guy called Janus, but many people call him Jan, like for short. So that's that.
Oh,
I get it.
That's a great story.
I mean, I think it's a good reference. I think we gotta tip the hat. Yeah, Janus Walker. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's a great reference either way, even if I don't quite get it. But I'm your cousin. LOL. Oh, is that your cousin?
Hey, that is my cousin. Hey, I know you're my cousin, dude.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, man. Let's see. Forbidden West, I can understand. Zero Dawn, what's wrong with you? I don't know what's wrong with me, bro. I can't get into it. I don't know what it is. I'm playing the remastered version on the PS5 Pro. That's what I mentioned earlier. I don't know if you've been around for that. Dude, from a graphical standpoint, it's one of the greatest games I've ever seen. But I just can't get into the story, man. I don't.
Like even as an enjoyer, you gotta admit it's subpar.
I'm just being honest with you, man. The gameplay is good. Like I've said this several times. I love the gameplay. I do think it's a bit grindy, but that's not really. That's more of like a nitpick. I don't mind it as grindy. I like the gameplay. I think the bow physics and everything, especially when you're playing on a DualSense controller, feeling the haptics and everything. Because dude, people joke about the haptics, but they made a lot. They do.
They
Like
do.
they really do. Like and I think that really helps Horizon. That's what keeps me coming back to it. Like I started up like I'm at the end of my Witcher 3 playthrough. I'm playing through
Oh,
The Last of Us Part 2.
you're
I've
playing
still
through a
have it
lot of
down.
games.
I have a bunch of games that I have not finished, like haven't fully finished. I finished Last of Us Part 2 before, but I'm just like I did my second playthrough when the remaster came out and everything. So like I have other games that I've come back to, and uh, my poor ass can't understand dual haptic. I'm just gonna leave that there, yo. I won't say shit to that.
Well, there's nothing to say. I think it's pretty auto-conclusive statement.
Okay. Anyway, I just can't get into it, man. I don't know. It's like not a. It's not. I'm just not having a fun time with the story. You know, I love Lance Riddick though. I do love
Yeah,
Lance Riddick as Silas. I do love Lance Riddick. That kind of helps when
yeah.
he's in the game.
And also that voice he does, especially when it's on a recording, it's like a bit deeper. You know how like the little echo like
Hmm.
that. And honestly, the story wasn't that terrible. It was just mostly an excuse to do stuff. Except for the mystery of Zero Dawn. I remember when I played the first time, that hooked me so much. And then when I figured out what Zero Dawn was, it wasn't underwhelming. It was all right, but then that's it. Then I was ready for the game to be over. By then.
Yeah, yeah. I think that kind of sums up, man. I like I said, I'm going to. I really am. I want to finish it, so I'm gonna make it one of my main goals to finish it. But yeah, as far as the story goes, man, it just isn't working with me. Silas voice actor keeps popping up in a lot of things I'm playing, seeing. Yeah, I mean, he's having like
Yeah, he
a
wanted more though,
yeah.
right?
Do what?
Right?
What'd you say?
Isn't he? He
Yeah,
wants any more though, right?
yeah, yeah, yes, Hunter. Oh my
Like,
gosh.
well, I wasn't sure. Like, I was talking about like he's still alive, and I was a bit confused.
Yeah, yeah, he's not with us anymore. I think the last movie he's going to be in is that John Wick spinoff that I'm actually looking forward to called Ballerina. Have you seen any of the John Wicks? I might have asked you that
I
before.
I haven't, but I might be interested in that.
I think that first one, it definitely you probably watch all of them and probably think the back like three through. I think there's four of them now.
Hmm.
You'll probably think three and four are not as good as one and two, and I would 100% agree with you. But that first one is almost like it's kind of like art almost. It's kind of
Oh
like it's
man,
the
all
way it
right.
is like with how like the essence of Keanu Reeves' character in that movie, like how terrified people are of the Baba Yaga and everything. It's awesome. Spin off. What's it called? Got me curious. Ballerina is what it's called. It's just called
Oh,
Ballerina, and it's about like it's someone within that assassin guild that Keanu Reeves' character is in is a character, and she's a ballerina. So that's the title of the movie. It's based between John Wick 3 and 4, I think, and I forgot who's playing the ballerina in that movie, but I'm looking forward to it though. It should be good. I love John Wick. Anyway, so that's Horizon. Those movies are very. I mean, those games are very average, but the gameplay is what makes me keep coming back to the game. I'm trying to think what's another one that I tried on the Pro. Oh, The Last of Us Part One.
oh, okay.
So The Last of Us Part Two looks pretty damn good. Like it looks like tiny bit better than the base PS5. I think Part One looks substantially better on the Pro.
Oh, how come?
And I actually just found that out this morning because I was trying to think of like what other games I could like start up and talk about on the show. It just has it has like so one thing I noticed about part one and part two. If you ever like compare the two, like the remastered version of them both, is that The Last of Us Part Two has more like photorealistic visuals, and The Last of Us Part One, while it is realistic, it kind of also has like a uh,
They're a
I
bit
don't
plasticky.
I don't want to
Hmm.
say like cartoony, but it kind of like it's going for realism, but it's not as like tight on like the more lifelike visuals, you know, as like the second one is. And for some reason, I just like that style better in part one, along with
Oh,
many other
okay.
things. But the part one just has like this very like crisp like I
Oh,
don't want
you're
to say
talking about like original part one.
No,
like
no, no,
not
no,
the remake.
no. I'm talking about the
Or
remake. I am talking about the remake. Yeah,
oh, those are different as well. I
yeah, yeah,
didn't notice that.
yeah, yeah. So it kind of has like a, it does have like somewhat of a cleaner look to it. That I can't, again, like any kind of footage that you record is not really going to be able to show it. But I did feel like The Last of Us Part One looked better. Now, as far as like the frame rates, I do want to say that on PS5 it's locked at 60 FPS on performance mode. With frame rates, I want to say I was upwards of 80. Again, 80 to 100. I know that. So, and that is very true. Yeah,
And it's not even like it's barely 11 years old.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But they'll come
but it's
out with,
like Resident Evil having like a bunch of different versions. I mean, at least that one came out in '96.
yeah.
This one is
Well, I mean, they'll probably come out with another like remaster for the
oh
PlayStation
for sure.
6,
Oh, and I
and
cannot wait.
you already
You
know
know,
we're gonna buy it.
you
You
know,
already know.
new trophy list, new platinum. You gotta get that.
Dude, that you know
Day one.
we're joking about it, but that's gonna be
No,
hilarious when
I'm
when
serious.
that happens.
I mean, God, and you know what's terrible? Like I spent all my life shitting on like Skyrim fans who kept buying the same games, and here I am
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
doing
worth
the
it, man.
same.
It's worth it, man.
It really is.
It's like
They don't get it.
as far as like a story standpoint, it's one of the best stories that I've played in gaming. Period. Now, Silent Hill 2 is
Mm,
kind of,
cutting it close, huh?
man. It's I'm leaning towards Silent Hill 2, but that's kind of recency bias. If I'm being honest with you,
It could be.
it's recency
Well,
bias.
you know what I'll tell you. I think that they're very different kinds of stories.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, and Silent Hill 2 can really grip you in a way that
yeah.
doesn't let go. It might be that.
I think that's why, because I haven't stopped thinking about it. Like I haven't. Like,
Hmm.
by the way, we'll get to that question here in a minute. I'm just trying to
Oh
think.
yeah,
I'm just trying.
I forgot about
I
it.
was just trying to think if there's anything, anything else. Let's see. So I did that. Obviously, I tried out my UFC 5. That's the game that I kind of play in between games, just kind of
Hmm.
wind down. UFC 5 looks fantastic on the Pro, a lot cleaner. Especially when you do like if you get like a vicious knockout, it'll have like a playback of the knockout, like a
Hmm.
highlight. It looks really clean, looks really smooth.
And that one is not enhanced, right?
Well,
That's just a straight.
UFC
It's not
5,
enhanced. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it
not.
is. It's enhanced.
It is
Yeah,
really
it's on
officially.
the. If you go to the, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the base, but it'll say
It
on
says PS
PSN.
Pro enhanced.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
one of the games on there. Yeah. I'm trying to think what was it was. I feel like there's one more thing I was going to talk about that I tried out.
FF16 maybe.
That's not
That
PS5 Pro enhanced. That doesn't
yeah,
have a
but
Pro enhanced.
maybe yeah, I know, but like maybe just by performance alone, it's a bit. It just plays out a bit better. That can happen sometimes.
Well, I mean, I might end
Certain
up
PS4
downloading it.
games played much better on the PS5 with no
Yeah,
update or anything. So
yeah. It's kind of it's too bad that we haven't got a Arkham Knight or Arkham
mm.
Trilogy patch for the Batman games for the next gen consoles yet. Everybody's
Are
asking
those
for it,
still on
but
30?
yes.
Oh my
And I
god.
mean, Arkham Knight looks like absolute dog shit on the PlayStation. I mean, it looks bad. It
Well,
looks really bad, and then like
bad
nobody's doing
how?
shit about it. It just doesn't look like the fidelity is just really bad, and the
Mm.
performance. It'd be one thing if the performance was 60. It's like it's an old game. Just that's its charm. Trash. When it looks that bad and it runs that bad, it's just not even. It's not playable for me personally. Um, I think that's one more thing, and then I'm gonna move on from this because I can't think of. I'm
All
drawing a
right.
blank. But all in all, if I can think of anything else, I'll bring it up. But just to go back to what I was saying. I think this console was made for the future. I think it was made for games that are coming out over the next year, 2 years. You know, because obviously, we're already 4 years into this specific generation. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
really, what do we got? Like another 4 to 5 years before we get the PS6, if there is going to be a
Probably.
PS6.
Probably will.
So like, if you're trying to get the best out of your games over the next 4 years, 4 or 5 years, it's I would say it's worth it probably in the long run. But I would think if you don't have the money, I wouldn't go broke trying to get it either because it's like it's just right now for what's out is more minimal upgrades. Now, if you wanna play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at the best of its potential, then yeah, I would say it's worth it. But are you really going to buy a $700 console for one game? The only thing I will say is if you have a
Mm.
base PS5 and let's say you just want to trade in your old console, you can get probably $350 back in trade credit, and then you're good to go. Yeah, 4 years already, man. It's
4 years.
crazy, crazy. 2020.
Yeah. Yeah, I see this meme popping around here and there that it's like people saying, "Oh man, like 2016 or 4 years ago," and someone corrects them, goes, "No, dude, 4 years was 2020."
That's wild.
Um,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
time is real. I've also realized that as of late, the time is real.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And as you
but
get older, it gets more real. I mean, look, think about this. The Deadhead podcast started in 2021.
no, it didn't.
Yes, it did. Or
Well, yeah,
well,
but I joined in 2022.
did you?
I did. I can guarantee that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you probably did.
But still, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't know, when we were talking about in episode 50, like when I started the Deadhead podcast, I didn't really even know what I
Mhm.
didn't really know what I wanted the show to be about, so it's kind of changed its trajectory. Yeah, I don't think we've recovered
Real,
ever since then. I think our
real.
perception has been really fucked ever
Yeah,
since then.
we should really start using a different kind of time format. We go PC post Corona. Actually, probably shouldn't abbreviate it like that, but that's another.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. No, it's all right. It'll be all right. So anyway, to my Silent Hill question. Oh wait,
Okay, can we just? Yeah, I think that's a good thing to
what do you
answer.
think? Capcom created Resident Evil 5, Chris versus Wesker inside the volcano, scene Boulder punching scene again.
I never of all the sentences you've written, I could not agree more with this one. This is the one. I also cannot wait to see
That's
Chris
funny as
versus Wesker
hell.
inside a volcano. Yeah, I thought like in the main game, like in the original game, Area 5, that scene was, completely insane, but it wasn't going insane enough. I think gameplay was is a little bit too contained. I think they can go higher, right? They can really go what do you say it over the top.
It's
It
just
would be
funny the way you started that was hilarious, Jan. You don't understand how funny that
thank
was.
you.
You were just like you were like out of
I love
all the sentences you wrote, I I gotta go with this one.
Yeah, I fuck with this one.
I what do you what was the question? What do you think
Do
Capcom
I think
created?
it's happening? I have no idea.
I
I
don't think
don't
it's gonna
understand
happen.
how the market works, but come on.
I don't think it's going to, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because of look, we're white men here, like you know what I mean, like we're
Okay.
Caucasian
No,
guys
no,
here.
not because of the African thing,
It
please.
definitely is because of the African thing.
Oh, come
Because at the end,
on.
listen, at the end of the day, I don't agree with it. I'm
So
not.
we can shoot fucking Spanish people? What? It's because they're white? We can
Okay,
shoot those guys?
okay, all right. Listen, you have a good point. I'm on your
Okay, I'm
side,
sorry.
man.
I'm
I'm
sorry. You're
on your
right.
side.
I'm just upset. I'm not upset at you. I'm upset in general.
I'm on your side, brother. Listen, I'm just saying. I just think with the way, and this is not getting political. This is not. Listen, I'm just being honest. The way the world is now, I just don't think that will fly. I just don't think so.
Cowards.
You gotta,
I
you got,
think Capcom is strong enough. I
you
think
gotta.
Capcom is big enough that it
Yeah,
can
yeah.
make jump the shark.
Well, yeah. Right. I mean, like, well, I mean, you just got this. You got this big white male, and he's gunning down zombies that happen.
Well,
It,
but consider you also have a strong black woman who's also gunning down black zombies.
well, that's also true, but I just don't think
Mhm.
Capcom cares. I think the fact of the matter is, you're
Mm.
still killing these people.
Maybe,
You're
maybe,
not
maybe
killing
that it's
people, but
dude. Maybe I haven't seen the ending of Village yet, but maybe it's a tactic to make seem Chris look like a bad guy. So when he starts killing black people, he doesn't look as bad. Like it doesn't like he look as bad because he looks bad, but it doesn't like the product doesn't seem like he's pushing a bad message, which it never was.
right, right.
Yeah, I'm yapping.
I
I'm
don't. I
yapping.
don't think.
But I
I don't think it ever was either. I agree 100% with you. I don't think it ever meant it that way.
they're zombies. I mean, we've been killing zombies for like decades on this franchise. Like, what's the problem? Like, are they supposed to like what have like well, imagine they do a remake and they try to address that. What they do is that they add a comment in one cutscene when Chris says, "Oh man, like all those all those American tourists have just landed here in Africa, and so all the zombies you shoot are white American tourists." How
you're
does that sound?
you're no, that's funny. No, okay, so actually, one of your comments, I think from your cousin, got held by a auto mod, and it said held a message for reason, race, ethnicity, or religion allow. We'll post it to chat. And his comment was, I really want to see these people in an apocalypse not shooting a black zombie because it's racist.
Exactly. Like, right? And they're in Africa. Like, there's black people everywhere. Shooting a black zombie. Yeah. That's what you that's the message you're telling me. Even if you're black, you still cannot shoot black zombies. It's oh
uh,
man. Well, that's a curveball right there.
yeah. I've seen all of them, and two of those
I haven't
franchises are pretty trash.
accepted. I have. Yeah, I've seen the Resident Evil movies. I have not seen neither Underworld or the Twilight Saga.
Uh,
Although, having grown up when those movies were booming, I know pretty much what the shtick is. I just haven't seen them.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Underworld is great, but I think a lot of that comes down to Kate Beckinsale. She plays the lead character in
Mm-hmm.
those movies, and I mean, you know, she's just awesome anyway. But I mean, it also helps that Kate Beckinsale's in it. So, yeah,
Right.
no, yeah, that's a good comment, by the way, man. I appreciate you leaving that comment.
We got to get to your question, dude.
But
Like
there's
before.
there is like there is white Africans, by the way. I mean, there
Well,
is.
obviously, no, but it depends on the in which country,
Right,
of course.
right,
There's
right. Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But you're going into this obviously in an area that has mostly like a predominantly like black population. And I mean, sure, you can add a few white people in there in the remake. I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
like,
enjoy killing those just as much as the other ones. I mean,
right, yeah. Zombie's a zombie, yeah. And I get, no, I get you. I get what you're saying. Yeah, let's go
Awesome.
ahead and real quick. We'll see what this comment is from your cousin. Only because we're in the zombie topic. I'm playing Dying Light 2, and 11-year-old me would have gone addicted to a game like this. Have you played Dying
I
Light 2, Jan?
I haven't. My PlayStation is really trying to get me to play it because it's like on the catalog, but I'm not biting. Sure.
It's a lot of fun. It's the first one I gotta watch out saying classic, but it is a great game. Like it's
Hmm.
this
You can
virus.
say iconic.
I
Hmm.
I guess you can go iconic. Sure, let's go with that.
But that's the parkour one, right?
Yeah. They took the
Okay.
gameplay from Dead Island, but made it with parkour. And honestly, it's a good fit. Like first person
Hmm.
jumping from building to building. Parkour plus zombies. What do you need? Yeah, I agree 100%. And sharp blades. Don't forget about that. But yeah,
Hmm.
like if you're talking about like just gore heavy, high octane action, jump from building to building, doing an air assassination on a zombie, killing human NPCs, it is a blast. The Dying Light 2 gets a bad rap because of the story and some of the gameplay elements. Like people thought this game was going to change video games, kind of like what they did with
I
Cyberpunk.
remember that.
Like
I remember times of saying, "Oh man, it'll take like 500 hours to complete these games."
yeah, and it was a lie. Like it's a big game. It's a big game,
Thankfully.
and they've made a lot of changes to make it more like what they were advertising. But it's like the same thing for Cyberpunk. Like they were acting like Cyberpunk was going to change the narrative, and I can say from experience, I've played it the full game twice, and I beat the DLC. Cyberpunk 2077 is one of my favorite games probably in the past 5 to 8 years. But to be honest with you, does it really change the formula? It does not. It's not like it does anything
Mhm.
groundbreaking. I think GTA 6 will, though. I do think that.
We'll see that.
Drop
Drop
kicking
well,
zombies off a
that's
skyscraper.
that is kind of a sell.
Yeah. So check it out. Question for Silent Hill
The
2.
question. I'm ready.
So I think I already kind of know the answer somewhat. Would you
Would you
have
have
the
the time to?
time to do that? What are you talking about?
I think completing Dying Light. I think he misunderstood you and thinks that you like completed it 100%.
Oh yeah, no, I have not done
Mhm.
that. I beat the first. So my first playthrough of Cyberpunk, I beat it before all the updates was like the 2.0 update. I actually beat the game in its original form, um, like when it first dropped, and then I played it again after the update came out, like later on PS5
Oh,
with all like
Cyberpunk.
yeah. So I played the first playthrough was when the game first dropped because I was one of those that saw the potential. I didn't want to give up on the game because I liked the gameplay. I love the futuristic aesthetic. I love the cars. Keanu Reeves is fucking awesome. But I also understood where everybody was coming from, saying like it's trash, the visuals suck, it runs like shit. I saw all that as well, but I pushed through. I finished it. I got a really bad ending, like a really bad ending. It probably one of the worst endings you can get in the game. So when I played on PS5, I played it a different way, and I did the DLC, and I did all. Dude, I've put like I have to check my thing is PSN kind of does a bad job when it comes to like your hours, like how long you play a game. But I know damn well I put at least 60 to 70 hours into that game, and every minute I loved it. Like even if it came down to just stealing cars and taking it back to some whoever was gave me the job or whatever, is like hunting down different cyber psychos, or like it's a blast. I love that game, and I probably put like 40 hours on Xbox, and then I put another 60 to 70 on PlayStation. So I've dedicated a lot of time. CD Project Red is awesome, dude. I'm so excited for the Witcher games coming out. Actually, I'm playing through The Witcher 3 right now, and I'm about to start the first DLC. But I mean, I'm gonna be so busy these next few
Exciting.
months, so I never got to really enjoy Cyberpunk because my potato PS4 can't handle it. Yeah, I heard it's atrocious
Shame.
on that.
Yeah. Yeah, so atrocious is that they went back on they pretty much Sony stepped back on their refund policy when that day came out because people were asking for a refund even though usually you can't get any in PSN, but the game was so
Mm-hmm.
atrocious that they had to. There were so many demands for a refund, they just had to
That I had to.
give it to them.
But
Yeah,
the thing about that is, and I'm not trying to open that can of worms, but there was still the thing that's so irritating about that was that people were still bitching even though they got their money back. It's like I would
yeah,
understand if Cyberpunk, like, well, sorry, if CD Projekt Red was like, "F y'all, take my damn game, take it like this. I don't give a shit," and whatever. But dude, if they're giving you your money back, and especially after they've already paid you the $60 or whatever you paid, why are you still bitching, man? I get it. You can be upset about a game, but at least they did their due diligence and gave you the money back.
I remember when they removed it from the
Yeah,
store. I
yep,
remember
they did
that,
it too.
and
It
they
was a big thing.
celebrated when it came back. It didn't even come back at full price. It was like 40 or something.
Yeah, yep.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it was a disaster of a launch. Like, there's no,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, nothing will change that. But I
One
do
hundred
agree
percent.
they were getting way too much shit for it. I mean, the kind of point was people are talking about Cyberpunk as if it's a bad game,
Mm-hmm.
like a bad product in and of itself. That's pretty much the image that a lot of people have because of that launch, which is obviously not true.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not. It's awesome, and it's got. I mean, it's got so many branching paths. Like I'm not gonna say every decision matters. I'm not saying it's like that far in depth, like a Skyrim or anything like that,
Hmm.
but or like a Fallout 3 or something like that. But I think it has just enough of that, like who you can have your allegiance to, doing different jobs. There's so many different builds you can have in that game. If you want to have a stealth build, you can do that. If you want to have a power build, which you already know what I picked. I picked the power build, and I was decimating everybody. Nobody stood a chance by the point where I was in the game. Like I think I had already reached like max level at that point. I had almost a lot of the cybernetic abilities at that, and I mean, it was a blast. I really I champion for that game, and I hope you get some time to play it at some point because I
I
think you'll
I
really
have
enjoy
the
it.
game. Yeah, I have the game, and it's one of those,
Yeah.
that as long as I have the time.
So Silent Hill 2, baby, we got to talk about
So
that.
all right, let's do it.
Finally, all right. So really fast. So there's a sequence. All right, you mentioned the elevator earlier, and you
Yeah.
remember when you go into the elevator for the first time,
Okay, I think I know what the
you
question
hear
is, but go
somebody
ahead.
talking over the intercom saying to remember these three things. Well, when I went through my playthrough, those three things I don't recall those ever popping back up unless they were very minimal. And what happened with that? Like what happens with that? Like
let
if you
me
were to find everything that he's asking for, and
let me tell you.
who the
So,
hell's talking?
well, okay, so questions like that are kind of left up to interpretation, right? It's
Okay.
just one of the many, let's call them hauntings of Silent Hill, right? Like a lot of unexplained things, like all of the holes that go all the way from the depths of the earth is just appearing town, right?
Hmm.
It's like one of those manifestations. So what happens is that, just to recap, what he says, he talks to James as if he's on like as if he's on a quiz, like on a quiz game.
Hmm.
He gives like three questions with multiple choice answers. Then he goes, so these twins, what are they called? The twins were murdered, and you go A, name and name, B, name and name, C, and name and name. So what you have to do, you got to remember the correct letter, which is the correct answer to each of the questions. There are three questions. I think that happens in the hospital, and very close to it's very easy to miss. I missed it too on my first playthrough. Close there to where the elevator drops you is a room with a chest. You cannot miss it. The chest looks it's adorned with a lot of jewels. It looks very premium, very expensive, and there's like a grid of buttons on it. And what you gotta do, you gotta press the correct sequence. I think it's like 2 1 3, like second answer, first answer, answer, and that's what you gotta click. You gotta click tuck tuck tuck. If you get it right, the box opens. You get a bunch of supplies. If you get even one of those right, like you press something wrong, even if you know what the correct answer is, that's it. You will never open that box.
So what's in the box?
Supplies.
So it's just
Yeah,
random
I mean
shit.
well, I mean, it's like what do you call them? Ammunition and like a syringe, a few syringes. I mean, it's very helpful. It's a good stash.
Wow.
But yeah, but it's not. Yeah, it's nothing insane. Yeah, I wish I could tell you that it's like you find the One Piece in there or something, but no, it's
Found the one.
nothing.
You found the One Piece in there. That's hilarious.
By
Oh,
the way,
okay.
season 2 is coming up of the live action version.
Season. Oh, it is. When is it
Yeah.
dropping? When is it coming out?
Uh, I don't think they disclosed that, but they're pretty much like they cast the entire cast, so
Hmm.
they must be well ahead into production.
Cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. I kind of, I think I don't know what book I stopped at. I'll have to go back and I'll talk to you about that in a little while. But I don't remember. Well,
Sure.
actually might be able to bring it up on here actually because I'm an
Making a
Apple
new.
whore, so all my stuff was
Oh man.
connected. So I actually might be able to tell you where I stopped. Let me see. Library. Okay, it looks like I stopped at. I was all right. So I just started Volume 3, which I know you said that doesn't really
Oh
tell you
man.
much because of like the
Yeah,
American
no, no,
version
no.
and stuff. But I'm still kind of early on.
Well, yeah, Volume 3. If that's the one I'm thinking about, then yeah, that's I mean, that's very early. That's like Buggy, like
I was
defying
I'll
Buggy
do.
from what I know.
Oh yeah. That I mean I still haven't got through him yet. So yeah, I mean
Mhm.
I was enjoying it for a long time, and then just things came up. You know how it is. I
I
would
know
like
what
to
it.
get back into it. So but anyway, just to finish the Silent Hill thing, I am disappointed that that's it. I am. I
That
was
is,
kind of
yeah,
hoping that there was. I thought maybe that had something to do with one of the endings. Like I was like, ooh, maybe if you do
yeah,
this,
no.
maybe that help. But if it's just supplies, that really sucks, man. I was actually
Well,
gonna
I
go back
think,
and try to get it for that. Now it's like f that. I'm not
well,
doing that,
I mean, I guess that's fair.
dude. You get so much ammo and syringes. When I finished the game, I had like 15 to 20 syringes, and I'm
Well,
playing on normal mode.
I mean, the original game was a bit harder, so maybe you can. I'm not gonna make up excuses for it. I mean, this is just how it is. I never found it. I mean, I always find it a pretty cute tidbit, right? Because you actually got to figure out the things they're being asked to you. I never focus on the rewards so much, but I guess you are right. It is a bit underwhelming that it's not.
Well, I just like that's the thing though. Like I don't want to sound greedy. Like I'm just focused on the reward. I just thought there'd be something else. I just thought there would be like
Yeah,
maybe like a treasure map. Maybe there's like some kind of like secret thing. Maybe Mary came up with the game show or something, and she left something for you if you
yeah, and I
find
get
it. Like
what you mean.
I just would have liked something else besides. Oh well, here's your 3 boxes of ammunition that you don't need, and here's 3 more syringes to your stockpile you already have.
Maybe the mystery kind of hyped you up a little bit too much.
Maybe that's what it was. Because the
Um,
questions are very creepy too. Like
they are.
talks about one of the brothers. One of them died. What was the name of the?
Mm.
Yeah, it's like I was like, oh man, so this is actually getting some, because you know how dark
Hmm.
that game is, without like the imagery towards death and these things talking to James and everything, and then like, and I think that's why it's right now it's my game of the year, and I don't see it moving because I know it's a story that came out years ago, but I think it was told so beautifully. That's why it's like it's right up there for me. I cannot stop thinking about it. I listen to the soundtrack every day, every single day.
Same, same. I'm gonna tell you. This is what I already like mentioned this before, but a lot of people don't think that a remake can be a game of the year. And that whole controversy sparked up with this year's nominees. I don't think Silent Hill 2 is even on there. Uh,
Let's see.
because
Game Awards
no,
2024 nominees.
no, I voted and I remember it not being there. Um,
I just want to see what all the nominees were because I remember seeing this, but
go
I don't
ahead.
remember. Oh, here we go. I got it right here.
But pretty much what
So,
it. Yeah, go ahead.
so it looks like what it says. It's Metaphor Refantasio. We talked about that last week. Well,
That
last show.
the Elden
Astrobot.
Ring DLC.
Yeah. Black Myth Wukong, Rebirth, Shadow of the Earth Tree, and Belatro.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a. I mean, I don't know how to pronounce it. I pronounce it Balatro, but I don't. It's like a card game.
Hmm.
It's very wacky. Like it's very fun, from what I understand. Pretty simple, but yeah, 2024 nominees were kind of trash. Thank you. I agree. Um,
I think they're very trash. Like I mean, you can make the case for Rebirth. Like Rebirth, I could see that. A Metaphor, I could even see that. I know I said that I
yeah,
wasn't really
Metaphor
into
too.
it, but I could see.
Metaphor is the one I voted for. I think that's is the most
Yeah,
the one deserving. Because yeah, Astrobot is like what I mean. It's a very cute game, and I'm glad it's doing well. But come on, give me the year.
yeah,
Balatro also, as popular as it is, I really don't see a game like that. Instead of even the fact that it's indie, the fact that it's very modest. It's really not. It's pretty much solitaire. It's a very, very fun and creative solitaire, but that's all it is. Yeah, and also Shadow of the Earth feel like a DLC. Like, come on.
yeah.
I
That's
mean,
that's some ass. Like I understand like the DLC. Oh, I've heard this, and I'm sure Jan can give a little bit more
yeah, it's
clarity. It
huge,
is
but
big. It's
still,
like a sequel to Elden Ring almost with
but
the
it's an
size of it. But
expansion. It doesn't warrant a place here. I mean, there is a. That's why you have categories. Like, am I missing something? Like, like, can't you just make a
yeah,
category for best
yeah,
DLC or
best
something?
DLC.
Like,
Yeah, definitely best DLC would be great. I mean, definitely. I mean,
it would win, like definitely. So I don't see.
I thought they had a
Uh,
best DLC, didn't they? Like because
I
wasn't
I
Phantom Liberty on that? Phantom Liberty, the Cyberpunk
yeah,
DLC was on that
I
one.
think it varies from year by year because I did not come across it when I was voting this year. A lot of people talk highly about those games though. Like what Shadow of the Earth, Elden Ring,
Yeah,
or
that
Astrobot. Oh,
okay.
Balatro.
So I agree with you. I think
Hmm.
that okay. If you want to say Astrobot and you want to say Shadow of the Earth Tree, okay, I can maybe see that. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've never heard. And again, like maybe you want to call me
Hmm.
simpleton. That's fine. I've never heard of Balatro in my life. Uh, Black Myth Wukong, I can see that one.
I can
I can
also
see
see
that.
that. Yeah.
Because that one just looks very like I don't even want to say innovative because it's not like it does anything too crazy different. It just has that like the gravitas of it with the big ball
I think
in life, you know.
it's also a debut game from what I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is
And
nice.
but Rebirth, I can see that one too to a certain extent, but I don't,
Yeah, but also
dude. You already know how I feel about that.
it doesn't. No, I mean even as someone who's not as harsh on it, I don't think it's not gonna. Yeah, I mean I think that almost brand new said it best. I mean the fact that Shadow Earth Tree is among the nominees, it's just dick riding.
Yeah,
And also, I mean, I'm a diehard fan, dude. I was tempted to vote for it, but out of principle, I didn't
yeah, yeah. And like you
because I
say, it
think
should
we need
be
structure.
right. Yeah, right. Well, I mean, like you say, it should just be like, yeah. If you want to say DLC, that's fine. Astrobot. The thing is, dude, I don't. Dude, I'm gonna say something that's gonna sound like an ass, and
Okay.
I don't
Well,
mean
that's
it
why
this
I'm
way.
here.
I don't care. Okay, I'm very self aware. If I sound like an ass, usually I'll catch it. As cool as Astrobot is, and it looks awesome. Like I've been tempted to buy it. I know as soon as I boot
Same.
it up, I will cut it off after like an hour. The thing is, those types of games, platformers. I'm not saying platformers can't win it, but I thought the whole point of game, like the game awards, is like we're looking at gameplay. We're looking at innovation and technology. We're looking at story, right? So most of the time, we're looking at story. We're looking now.
Hmm.
Sometimes we're not, right? I want to say Overwatch won one year. I want to say what was another one
It
that won?
takes two, game of the year. There was a
Okay,
platformer and also a game you can only play with two people.
right, right. So I mean, there
Uh,
has been games that have won without a story, but besides those years, I want to say most of the time there has been like some kind of story involved. Like God of War 2018 won that
well,
year.
I mean, yeah, sure, but I don't think that's like it's a requisite.
Right.
I mean, sure, it can help. Yeah, I think, I mean, here I disagree with you. I think that we can be a little bit, a bit more lenient in that regard. I think they even put out a statement when people were giving them shit about the nominees, and what they said, like the statement itself, I saw nothing wrong with it. They were talking about something about praising most of all, uh, creativity and stuff like that. I mean, which comes in a lot of forms. You don't have to be a
Yeah.
good storyteller for that, is what I
Right.
mean. And also, but is plenty creative, and it is done very well.
It
There's
is.
also quality there.
It is.
So I don't think it'll win, but I don't mind it being a nominee.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I agree with you. I think as far as like, yeah, I mean, it is like when I see gameplay of it, the first thing I think of is this does look fun, but I
Mm.
just know for a fact it's not for me. Like I know as soon
Oh,
as I
that's just
got it,
you, yeah.
But I mean, and that's the thing. Like gaming is not for the individual; it's for the population. And so, like
Mm.
Balatro, like I don't know what that is, but if people think that deserves to be on the place, fine. Shadow the Earth Tree, like you say, that's DLC.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't be there. Rebirth. Listen, I know I got my thoughts on that, but look, Rebirth is a good game. It is. Like we've talked about that. Now,
Yeah.
is a game award nominee good? I don't know.
Maybe like for something specific, right? Have like category for like best sound design, best soundtrack. Maybe you can like squeeze a spot in there as
Yeah.
game of the year, though.
Black Myth Wukong, like I said, I think from the sheer, and by the way, that doesn't have a pro update either. That's not pro enhanced,
Mm-hmm.
which sucks because I wish it was. But from what I've seen of that looks pretty quality. I love the boss designs. I think it looks very flashy. That I can see that.
I would be happy for the developers if that one won. Honestly, I'd.
Yeah, and then Astrobot, Metaphor, Reef, Fantasio. Like I said, I mean, Metaphor, those types of Persona games. I've made it clear. I'm not super into, but I know a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are. So I mean, that I can see that one for sure. But
So, which one would you vote for? Because I seem to understand you haven't yet.
no, I probably won't. I don't normally do. But I mean, out of all these, I'm gonna be honest with you because I've only played two of these. I guess
These don't for
I'm
you.
going with Rebirth, man. I guess,
Oh man, well,
but it's not.
Rebirth is getting a
But it,
vote.
but it's not really.
Why?
What else that came out would you put up there aside from Silent Hill? Oh well, first we'll go with being a
Yeah, I think that
remake, and in my opinion, similar to SOT, should be in completely different category. What's SOT? I'm sorry.
Shadow of the Earth 3.
Sorry, I don't know why they did
Mm-hmm.
not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Yeah, no, I got you. Should be a completely different category, 100%. And then what else would come out besides? What else would I put up there besides Silent Hill as far as my game of the year? I mean, what else has come out this year? Like I'm drawing a
We
blank.
got we got Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. We got Persona 3 Reload, also remake. Alone in the Dragon's Dogma 2, Stellar Blade. Then we have Star Wars Outlaws, of course. Uh,
Hmm.
and and then just a few more indie games that are like Neva that were never getting on there. I would definitely put. I think Dragon's Dogma 2 is way more deserving of a spot. IMO, in my
Mm-hmm.
humble opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Prince of Persia did not perform well enough to be get on there. Persona 3 Reload, like I'd much have Silent Hill 2 because okay. So what Woman's Brand said, I think it's right that it might be good for them to have like a different category. But then again, okay, A, I don't think that many remakes come out a year to have a category, and B, if they're different enough, like Silent Hill 2, the remake, is vastly, it's a vastly different experience from the original game. I think at that point, it's just transformative media, right? Sure, you're taking the base of something else. It's much harder to start from scratch, but there's a lot of effort put into to making. They put a lot of effort into making their own vision of that game. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
So, but you know what? If that's what it's just if that's what's required to have peace in the world for them to have like a different category, I can come down to compromises. I'm much more mad at Shadow of the Earth Tree, honestly.
I'm looking through the list right now. I do. So Russ, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've been playing older games when I've had time. I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to the list right now, man, and I'm like, of all the games that have come out this year, and I'm gonna be honest with you, dude, I haven't played any of this shit. Like, I've tried a couple, like like Star Wars Outlaws. I tried that, and it was. I heard that it has gotten better. I heard the latest update does make it better, but I haven't
Hmm.
tried. I don't own the game. I started a what do you call it, like an Ubisoft Plus account for like a day, and I gave it a try, and I was like, whatever, it's garbage. I'm not playing this
Hmm.
trash. But now that the update's out, I might give it another try. But again, like me and Jan were talking about earlier, I wish the game was like $30 because then I'd probably scoop it today. I'm look. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know it seems kind of like heavy hitter, but I'm looking here. Space Marine 2 dropped September
Well,
9th.
there's that. There's that.
So I thought Space Marine 2 was very well done. Like, is the story that great? But as far as a spectacle standpoint, I thought it was awesome. Like, I would put it right up there. But again, it's all about what you're playing. Like, I'm into Gears of War and things like that. Has a very reminiscent vibe to that. So yeah, dude, I'm looking at the list here, man, and man, this year has not been a good year for me when it comes to
Hmm.
new games. Yep. All right, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I think
Well,
Space Marine 2, man. I think that's it for me.
Dragon's Dogma 2, Stellar Blade. I mean, even games that I
Yeah,
haven't played, but it's still
yeah,
we recognize some sort of interesting thing there. Not too much was spectacular. Mm.
yeah. 100
Yeah,
percent. Like I like what. Jan, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jan. Like
the day it came out, and
I'm
that's like
Lost died the same the day it came out.
like I say it came out even before. Like if you're one of those who pre-ordered the premium edition or whatever it's called, got the game 4 days early, that's when it came out.
Yeah.
Even when it was born dead.
Oh, okay. So Russ saying that's kind of my point when it comes to there's not many games that come out this year. So
Oh,
what others
okay,
would you put?
okay.
100%. I'm sorry, brother. I didn't. I don't know if I took your question in another way. I was like literally trying to think of what else. Like I know that the Dragon Ball Z Sparkling Zero that you were really looking forward
Oh
to,
yeah, there's
or
that. Yeah,
Sparking Zero. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's sparkling, sparking.
I
I
think it's
don't
sparking. It's spark.
but it looks sick. I'm just not into that. I'm just not into that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love
Mm-hmm.
the fights and stuff. I never watched the anime before besides just tidbits. So like I'm not really as much into that. But it looks all. I was actually close to buying that. I actually was
Mm.
like I might have been. I don't know if Russ came out with a video or somebody came out with a video playing it, and I was like, holy shit, this looks
They
like
got you wanting for
fire.
more.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, it looked awesome. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Since I haven't played any Final Fantasy remake or not, I don't really know. But putting remakes, remastered DLCs just looks like fodder because they had nothing better to put. Yep,
Pretty much. Well, I mean, that's what people are mad about, I guess, right?
yep.
Because like I'm sure that I mean we're ignorant, so we don't know, but I'm sure there's a lot more indie games that came out this year.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Animal, well, I think Animal deserves a spot. When you're talking, quality and creativity, there's that.
Mm,
There's a bunch more. Oh, there's another one. It's called Indica or something like that. It came out sometime in May. Also
mm-hmm,
very creative, just from the trailer alone.
mm-hmm,
Um, but they have to put Rebirth in there, right? Because Final Fantasy is a huge name, a huge franchise, and they had to put Shadow of the Earthtree because again, from software dick riding. That I think that's what rubbed people the wrong way.
mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, the Rebirth does not deserve Game of the Year, no matter how you look at it. All the things it does well,
Talking
it's
about
not
Rebirth?
even.
Did you say
Yeah,
Rebirth? I'm sorry.
Rebirth. I
Okay,
said
okay.
maybe I said it wrong.
Sorry. Go
But I
ahead.
mean, all the things
I
it
didn't
does,
catch it. It's my bad. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say it does nothing spectacular that's new, right? It doesn't invent the remake, the competition from remake all too much,
Mm-hmm,
not to deserve like an award of this stamp. But then
mm-hmm.
again, what do I know?
Yeah, and I think like again we go back to it, and I think you Russ and I when we talked about it on the show, like it like I
Mm.
said, I have still yet to finish Rebirth. Now that I have the
Mm.
Pro and it does look a lot better, runs a lot better, it gives me more reason to go back and finish it. But I mean, at the same time, like look, all the things that burn me out, I still feel like it burns me out, bro. Like I just that Ubisoft formula, it's even if you put it in a game like Final Fantasy, it still feels like that just busy work. There are a lot of games we love, but are they really game of the year? Like I love Dragon Ball, but I'm not saying it's beating Tekken 8. I haven't played Tekken 8.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I get what he's saying, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah.
supposed to be awarding games that are objectively
Right. Yeah.
the better games of the year. No one's will. But that's what I'm saying. Like, talk about it objectively. Like, what about Rebirth? Next game of the year.
Now that
I
I'm
mean, look,
looking at
there's
the
a lot of.
list, lots of flops this year: Suicide Squad, Rise of the Ronin,
I think
Outlaws. Rise of the
I
Ronin's
feel that
sick.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like a financial flop.
That's not fair, though, dude.
Uh,
That game is sick. I stand by it. Rise of the Ronin is the shit. As a matter of fact, that's a PS5 Pro enhanced as well. Oh, that was what
yeah,
I
I
meant to
couldn't
say.
believe that.
Game
Rise of the
it
Ronin.
looks awesome. Does it look kind of aged? Yeah, okay. Graphics are not the best, but the gameplay, dude, the gameplay is
Mm,
sick. I love Rise of the Ronin. I don't care what anybody
yeah.
says. But Outlaw, Suicide Squad, whatever. Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
I liked better than most, but yeah, it still sucks.
Well, we're not gonna tell you like I'm not gonna call myself like a seasoned gamer or anything, but I see the same amount of flops every year. Like maybe we saw more like very high flops this year, but it's not. I didn't study this terms, of course. Is it? Never tried it from what I've seen since mid.
Talking
Well,
about
I
Rise
mean,
of the Ronin.
yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, I gotta trust Dylan's word in it because I haven't played it. I just know that I did play other games for the same developer like
Yeah,
Neo, and I really don't like how much shit you gather in these games. It's
yeah,
like you got
yeah,
a shit ton of loot, and it's
yeah.
all color coded and all that.
It is. It's same
Um,
shit. It does have that, but
uh,
what I will say, what helps is like so I'm assuming you play Ghost of Tsushima, right? We probably
I
all play
have
Ghost
played
of
those.
Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima, like I love the combat in the game, but at the same time, like, well, no, it's not at the same time. Like you have the different stances, like you can fight in different ways. You can like make your
Mm-hmm.
blade have like a fire around it and everything, like you can blaze it or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um, Rise of the Ronin does the same thing, but only you have muskets. You can do dual
Mm-hmm.
swords. You can do a staff. You can do all kinds of different weapon variations, and it's so much fun switching. And each weapon variation has a different stance. So, like if I'm
Mm-hmm.
using the musket, I can have more of a heavy stance. I can have a lighter stance. I can just be a straight up marksman and not even worry about using the blade at the end of the musket. I just think as far as the customization goes, I don't know how Neo is, but as far as this goes, the customization is through the
Well, it's
roof.
pretty much what you've been telling me. Yeah, there's like three stances. There's like light, heavy, medium,
Yeah,
and then you have different weapon classes. Here's the thing: people consider Neo to be like a better Rise of the Ronin because the Rise of the Ronin is a bit easier, from what I understand.
yeah, it
Because both have
is. It
shit
is.
stories. Like you don't even have to consider the stories in both. But Neo has that added challenge, so which gives it some depth that I guess Rise of the Ronin didn't have. What I'm trying to say is that I wouldn't play it either way. It's one of my favorite games, Rise of the Ronin. Like a poor try that obviously with grain of salt, I haven't played it. Well, that, but don't think of it like a poor man's Ghost of Tsushima. Look at it as a poor man's Neo from the developers of Neo. I think maybe they did try after Tsushima. They tried to make a more streamlined experience to get like a higher to hit a higher target demographic.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't. They've been making samurai games before Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a fair assessment.
man, like you said, like as far as if you're looking from a story standpoint, I'm right there
Hmm.
with you. Like we're not there for the story, but I just like as far as like becoming like this badass Ronin, and there is a good bit of challenge there too. Like this definitely is a challenging game, but it's super. I don't want to say beatable, like make it sound easy, but it's easy to kind of
Manageable.
get the
Hmm.
handle on the combat, and especially when you find out what works best for you. Like if you work best with like the double blade samurai swords, that's fine. But some boss encounters require you to use a certain weapon because one weapon doesn't work over the other, and it kind of makes you better with that weapon. And then you kind of prefer that after a
Hmm.
while. And it's like I guess what I'm saying is like I don't want to sound like I'm like completely sucking it off because listen, at the end of the day, you might end up playing it and you're like, yeah, trash. It's actually a really good time. Now I haven't finished it. I didn't have. That was one of those I never got to finish because something else dropped, and I think we were supposed to talk about on the show, so I put it down. But I'll be honest with you, I tried it on the Pro last night, and honestly, it took me a while to put it down. I put like 2 or 3 hours, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit,
Oh
I forgot
damn.
how I
Okay.
forgot how fun this was." Because it's fun, man. It's just even and look, it has Ubisoft shit. It has Ubisoft stuff, like kind of like Ghost of Tsushima,
Hmm.
right? Like going here and doing this, you can open up more of the map, and you got enemy bases. It has all that same shit that we talk about time and time again. But dude, when the combat is fun, like it doesn't really matter. It just gives me time to use tools that I haven't used before, and you go in there and just feel like a badass Ronin, and I think it does a good job with that. So, but to go back to the whole game of the year thing, yeah, this year has been shallow when it comes to games. I mean, honestly, look at my backlog. I've been playing nothing but older games. Like that's it. Like older games. That's
Yeah.
what I've been playing. I mean, I'm playing Horizon right now, dude. The game came out. Now I'm playing the
Hmm.
remastered version, but I'm playing an old ass game, and honestly, I don't even care about this game that much. I'm just trying to finish it so I can say I did it.
Hmm. Yeah.
So,
To
you
shut
know,
up the haters. Yeah, no, I don't look at it that pessimistically. I think that definitely there have been a bit too many disappointments from this year. You can
hmm
say that, like Rebirth and stuff. But we got a few good stuff. We got a decent amount. I
yeah,
mentioned Animal Well, mentioned Indica, mentioned Other Silent Hill 2 remake, of course, which nobody hopes would have been as good as it is.
hmm
Metaphor of Fantasio, haven't played through it, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing. So I wouldn't say like this is going to be one of the worst years ever, but it is. We're still looking for that something, for the
yeah,
one big year,
hmm
like 2017 was. Remember that year?
yeah. 2017, 2018 was a great year.
Oh man.
2018 had
Oh,
Spider Man, God of War, had freaking what was another game that came out during that time? I mean, that was a
last.
banger ass year.
Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, in
But
2017 we got a Resident Evil 7. Got
yeah,
Nier Automata. We got a bunch of shit.
yeah, and 2025 looks like it's gonna be a good year. I mean, just from the
Mm-hmm.
announcements we've got, but it just again, I think we're getting to that age now where it's like, especially now with like how long it takes games to be made and everything. I mean, it's almost like we were talking about before. Like, if you want super unique experiences or something that feels different, going indie is probably the way to go, because it's
Pretty
just,
much.
especially with the way a lot of these triple A or even double A games come out nowadays, they take a lot longer to come out. And if you're just waiting for that next Uncharted or that next Last of Us or whatever, you're gonna be waiting forever. I mean, and it's
Well,
just not. I don't. If you
what?
like to play games that much, I would hate to wait that long just for those types of games. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not just that, honestly. I think that because it takes so much time to make them and so much money to make them as well, I think people are trying, like a lot of developers are trying to play it safe, or at least a lot of publishers play it safe, so they don't really get to be creative. They mostly just mandate like a cookie cutter experience, a formula that they know will probably get them some cash. Honestly, the only game that I'm looking forward to is Subnautica 2. Everything else is just wait time for me. Well, I mean, I can't say I relate, but I've been there. I've been there where it's
Yeah,
more a kind of a drought.
yeah, dude. Especially when you're waiting for that one game. Real quick, and
Mm-hmm.
then I know we're gonna have to get on out of here in a minute. But uh, with Final Fantasy 16, I remember when the demo dropped for that, and Jan knows this because
Mm-hmm.
I came on the show literally right after, and I was like, dude, I'm like so excited. Everything else is trash. I can't play anything else. I don't want to. And it was bad, man. I was really bad. Like I like cut myself off from games. I was like, I can't even do this anymore because
Yeah.
every game I'm playing, I hate. And uh, when I finally got Final Fantasy 16, I told myself that I'm probably done with demos. I'm just probably done because that almost took me out. Like I was just like
Not
that.
even once.
The sheer like waiting for the game to drop. I'm just like, dude, like, and the thing is, I already had it pre-ordered. I was getting it day one. Like all that stuff was, I was gonna get it regardless. But just that sheer waiting for it to drop was just, it was torture. So I'm not doing that no more. I don't care if I'm looking forward to the game or not. Like now, if I download a demo, it's for a game that's already out. That way, I can just test it, and if I like it, I just buy it right away, and that's it.
Amen.
It's kind of like what I did with there's this game that came out, and I'm sure you've seen it. Like it's been discounted a lot, but it's like this game where like you can shoot magic out of your hands. It's kind of like Ghostwire
Uh,
Tokyo, but it's not. It's kind of like
is it the Avenium,
yeah,
something of
yeah, that's
Avenium
it.
game?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually bought that game. I bought it because on the demo it gave me like 40% off. Like when I finished the demo, it
Uh huh.
said, "Oh, here's a 40% off," and I was like, Psh, "All
Oh,
right,
that's smart. Yeah, that's.
yeah."
Yeah,
So
no,
I'll
that
do
game
that.
just kind of. I remember it being announced. I remember it releasing, and then it just faded into obscurity.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Essentially, you're just shooting guns with your hands
Pretty
because you have
much.
like a shotgun blast. You have
And
your
and the guy looks like the design is a very bland, just
very bland.
hotshot guy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But they were proud of enough of him to put him on the cover. Like the cover is just him.
yeah.
Just
Just him, man. They thought maybe they found like their next Nathan Drake, and it was like,
yeah.
yeah, this guy's kind of sucks. Um, but yeah, I think it's most of the top. We didn't even talk about Terrifier, which is not much to talk about. I'm gonna try to check it out tomorrow.
Well,
Maybe we can
we'll
talk
definitely
more
talk
about it.
about it next time.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna rent it tomorrow with the fam, and we'll probably watch it.
Awesome.
I
I
gotta wait
just
for
I
the
just
What were
I
you gonna
just
say?
checked out and started. I was just gonna tell you that I just checked and we got it here too, also on Prime. So like to
Oh,
rent. So
cool.
it's a done deal. We can watch it
Good
and
deals. Yeah,
talk about it.
we can watch it and talk about it a little bit in the next one. But yeah, I think I think with the PS5 Pro and I think with Game of the Year, we have a lot of things to talk about. So I'm sure in our next episode we'll be. Heck, I mean, when is the Game Awards anyway? Do you know? Is it like late
12th.
the 12th of December?
Yes.
Okay. So we got a couple weeks out before then, but
Hmm.
we'll definitely do a video, especially when the Game Awards actually happens, and see what other nominees. Obviously, we'll do some rankings of our favorite games that come out this year. It's not going to be a big list, it looks like, but we might have a couple things worth talking about. But I don't know. Like, if you do got the Pro, let us know down below. What do you think? What is a game you've seen on that shows the biggest difference? And what are your thoughts on all the games we discussed? We talked a lot of games today. A lot of Resident Evil Village, a lot of Silent Hill. If you played those, let us know down below. Thanks for checking out another episode of Deadhead Podcast, episode 61. I haven't done a lot of advertising for this one, but for all you guys that came and checked us out, I do appreciate the conversations in the chat. That was great. Russ, thank you for stopping by. Man, we need to have you on again soon. As well as Jan's cousin. I cannot pronounce your tag here. Maybe I'll let Jan do that one.
Just call him Mike.
All
I think
right. All right, Mike. If that's your actual name and Jan's not just fucking with me.
Actual nickname. Actual nickname.
Thanks for talking with us, man. We do appreciate everybody checking out the Deadhead Podcast. Yeah.
There you go.
Good. All right. Well, we do appreciate checking out Deadhead Podcast. Hopefully, it won't be the last time you stop by. And don't forget to click the bell on our YouTube channel. Follow us everywhere on our social media accounts. We'll definitely be posting more in the future. With that being said, Jan, anything you'd like to say to people before we get on out of here?
Well, I just want to remind them to use their votes. We do live in a democracy, at least we do. I don't know about people watching us, but so use your vote. So don't let the VGAs get away with this. Do not vote for Shadow of the Erdtree as much as you like it. Vote for an actual game, not an expansion. That's my end line, bottom line.
Yeah, exercise your God-given right to vote.
That's right.
Vote out of all these shitty games in the top 5. It's not shitty games. Anyway, out of all the picks, choose the one that you think is best. And it sure as hell isn't Shadow of the Erdtree. Maybe best DLC, maybe. But anyway, thank you guys for checking out the show. We'll see you in the next one. That being said, stay dead, my friends.